Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Real reason why Carmelo Anthony murdered Austin Metcalf. Now, when the story first broke, I was out and about, and I said that I was going to do a video about it. Now that a lot of the information has pretty much surfaced, we will chime in on the situation. The first thing that we have to understand is that Carmelo is a murderer, right? Carmelo brought a knife to a place that he intended to use that knife. And a lot of people are supporting a murderer. And this is the problem with the black community. This is the problem. And to add insult to injury, it's even worse than this. Because now the black community wants to financially support him to the point where they gave this guy over $250,000. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would the black community support a murderer? Why would you guys do that? When this young man brought a knife with the intent to kill out of rage, hate, and jealousy. But everybody's trying to spin this as if though he was just a good kid and, you know what I mean, self-defense. Nah. You murdered a man and you brought a weapon because you intended to use it. This young man's family set up a fundraiser and raised over $234,000, man. I just don't get why. It's like in the black community, we don't support black-owned businesses. We hate each other. We kill each other. But when our own people murder people, we financially support them when they're clearly guilty. No one should be supporting this. Carmelo belonged in prison. Just because he's black, I don't care. He's a murderer. Because if it was the other way around, you would want justice. If it was the other way around, you'll be crying foul play. But because he's a young black man, all of a sudden the racist in you comes out. Because a lot of our people are racists. And I see it all over social media. You got people making videos saying that, you know, Carmelo was called the N-word by the white guy. So what? I don't understand why black folk are still getting offended by white folk over the N-word. I don't care about that word because it don't represent me. But for some reason, you folks are so enslaved that you allow a word to infuriate you to the point that you would throw your life away. Carmelo made a choice. He made a choice to bring a weapon. Listen, people, let's think logically. A weapon was not supposed to even be at the event. Why would Carmelo bring a weapon? Because he intended to use it. Because this is an ongoing issue that he been having. So he figure, I'm going to bring this weapon. And if this dude even say anything to me, I'm gonna use it. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Because before he did the dirt, he told the white kid, hey, if you come at me, hey, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. You gonna find out. You come at me, man, you gonna find out. So what was the weapon there for? So that he can kill. And now folks gave him $234,000 for what? Why are you supporting a murderer? Knives don't belong at a place where athletes are. You're not the cook. You're not barbecuing. You're not cutting steaks. Instead, you're stabbing kids in the heart. So you took out this young man that had a whole promising future. He's a twin. His brother's mourning. His mama's mourning. And the black community is busy celebrating Karmelo. And you're going to tell me we don't got problems? We got serious problems. It's as if though when one of ours kill another community, we celebrate rather than holding that one accountable and saying, wait a minute, this doesn't represent us. This was out of pocket. Karmelo brought a weapon with the intent to use it. He didn't bring that weapon to just keep in his bag. He went to his bag and brought out the knife to kill. Yes, premeditated. You understand? See, I'm not cut from this cloth of black folk that just go along with the get along gang. I'm not with that. I get hated on by black people because I hold black people accountable. Because when one of us do something, it makes all of us look bad. Now, I'm going to tell you what's going to come to pass if this type of buffoonery keep going on. It's one thing when we kill one another. All the other nations, they don't care. When we killing one another, the other nations don't care. But I'm going to tell you something. When you start killing theirs, when you start killing their kids, that's when it's going to be an all-out war. That's when it's going to be an on-site situation. That's when you're going to have high tensions in the air because of why? You're not holding your people accountable, but instead you're supporting a murderer. Nobody should be supporting Karmelo. He should be facing justice right now. He should be facing justice. I don't care if somebody called you the N-word. I don't care if anybody was taunting you. You don't take out a knife and plunge it in a young man's heart and then want to cry to the officers talking about self-defense. I don't want to hear that, because that's exactly what they're trying to spin this thing as. They're trying to say that this is self-defense. This ain't no self-defense. You're a murderer, bro. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that the young man called him an N-word, because that's what a lot of YouTubers are saying. They're all wrong. They're all racist. A lot of YouTubers are racist at the end of the day. They just hate white people with a passion. That's the problem with the black community. The problem with the black community is that we have so much hate in our heart that when crimes and violence take place, we don't think logical. It's almost like a get back. It's almost like, well, they had it coming. Or, well, look what they did to our ancestors type mentality. And that's sick. I don't want to be a part of that community. I do not want to be a part of a community of racists that are full of hate. That when crime takes place, we don't know how to distinguish between the good and the bad. This young man murdered another man out of hate, jealousy, rage, because this was an ongoing issue. That issue did not start on that day. Why? Because he brought a knife. For him to bring a knife, it meant that there was conflict, right, between the young man and Karmelo. Karmelo had an issue with Austin for an ongoing period of time. And he went there to settle that score with that knife. He did not bring that knife to barbecue or to cut a cake. He brought it there to kill. So as a people, we have to look at this thing logically and say, wait a minute now, you're right. If he brought the knife there, these two young men had an ongoing conflict. This wasn't just about a seat. This was about hate. This was about one young man being jealous of another. Jealous because of his popularity. Jealous because he's the star guy. Jealous because he had a whole future ahead of him. And the other kid felt that was his position in life. So he figured, hey, I'm going to take it away. I'm going to take away what was meant for you so I can feel happy. And because of that, now his life is over. And what do the black community do? We bring money to the table to support them. It says help Carmelo official fund. This is the official support fund for Carmelo and his family during this challenging and difficult time. What do you mean challenging and difficult time? Your relative brought a knife to an event to kill. This is not a challenging, difficult time. He made his bed. It says the narrative being spread is false, unjust, and harmful. As a family of faith, all of a sudden you're a family of faith? So where was Carmelo's faith? Where was Carmelo's faith in Jesus Christ? The Bible says that if somebody wrongfully abuse you, speak lies against you, to pray for them, to speak well of them. It didn't say take a knife and stab them in the heart. So I don't want to hear that garbage about a family of faith. No, your family is of the devil. Carmelo's family is of the devil. Tired of these hypocrites. You know? It's just crazy. Check out somebody in the comments. Name the man says Austin was a bully and he effed around and found out. This has to be what? This has to be happen more. So let me get this straight. So the solution for a family of faith is that if somebody's a bully, you bring a knife and you kill him. Is that what you're saying, the man? Are you saying that it is justified that you're supposed to kill a bully? In other words, and first of all, how do you know that? You're not there with them. You don't go to school with them. You don't know nothing about them. So all you're doing is just gossiping off of what you heard from a YouTuber. Because I could tell when you're influenced by a YouTuber. It's very easy to know when viewers are influenced by YouTubers. You know what I mean? Because why? Because you're speaking and regurgitating what you heard. You're not talking about something that you witnessed because you don't know them. You were not there. You did not see anything. And if the young white boy was a bully, if you know so much about it, how come you didn't intervene? So obviously you're just regurgitating what you heard. You just regurgitating what you heard. You don't know a damn thing. This man killed a young boy with a promising future. People got mad at me when I made my first video because I called Carmelo an animal, and they got mad. They got mad because I said the white boy had a promising future. Damn it, he had a promising future. And this ninja took it away. And the problem with the black community is that we sit back and we don't reprimand and we don't scold and we don't hold accountable the damn degenerates in the community. We let it slide, and then we wonder why there is such evil in the land. Because we sit back and we just act a fool. And then when there's a situation where you have another young black boy that get killed in a so-called sundown town, now we want to sit online and cry. I don't want to hear a damn thing about a sundown town or another young black boy dying. I don't want to hear nothing if you're not going to hold this ninja accountable. I don't want to hear nothing. That's the problem with our people. You love watching content where content creators say, oh, a black woman, she died in a sundown town. A black man, he died in a sundown town. But when a ninja kill a white boy, all of a sudden now everybody's quiet. All of a sudden now everybody's quiet. He brought a knife. Case closed. I don't want to hear nothing about bully. If somebody's a bully, how come you didn't report that? If somebody's a bully and they're threatening you and taunting you, there are certain protocols and things and avenues you can go through to make rectify those situations. You don't go and you take that situation and you say, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go kill this person. It don't make no damn sense. You know? It's just wild. And you know, shout out to Mr. Skinny. Shout out to Skinny, the Don in the building. He says, I live in a sundown town. It's a lot of people that are afraid of this so-called sundown town stuff. A lot of black folk. They just have this mindset that if you go to a sundown town and you're black, you're gonna die. I beg to differ. That's just a bunch of BS that people plant in content to make you be afraid. It don't make no sense. What are you afraid of? It don't make no sense when they talk that talk. My issue here is when a white boy or a white man kill a black, all of a sudden there's this selective outrage where we gather on social media and talk about how the white man is the devil. And this is why I left the so-called Black Hebrew Israelite cult, because they hate white people with a passion. They talk about they following the Most High. They talk about they following the Bible, but they following the devil. Because nowhere in the Bible did Jesus Christ say, hate white people. Nowhere in the Bible did he say the white man is the devil. Because in the black community, we have a lot of devils. We have a lot of black folk in the black community that are killing each other, selling drugs, raping women, abusing kids. We have pedophiles in the black community. We have all sorts of evil and dysfunctions, but yet nobody's doing anything to clean it up. And the religious community ain't doing a damn thing. The Christian church is full of shit. The Hebrew Israelite community is full of shit. Ain't nobody doing a damn thing to solve none of these problems. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of us talking about all these other groups and we ain't rectifying the issues in our own community. Nobody should be supporting this damn animal. Nobody. I don't care how old he is. I don't care how young he is. He took a life. He took a life that's premeditated. He took out the knife and he plunged it in his heart. Why? Because he wanted him dead. Why? Because he's jealous. He's jealous. He's envious. He's evil. And that was in his heart. Has nothing to do with, he come from a family of faith. No, he come from a family of evil. Let's continue reading. The narrative being spread is false, unjust, and harmful. As a family of faith, we are deeply grateful for all of your support during this trying period. Your prayers and assistance mean more to us now than more than ever. See, this is what I cannot stand. I cannot stand when people want to get religious when their kids are evil. Your son, your nephew, whatever your case is, this guy is evil. And he murdered another man. You know what I mean? I'm going to play some news reports because we're going to do our investigation and break down this whole story, find out what's going on, because the situation is just sad, guys. So I'm going to play some news clips so that we can find out what's going on in these streets, man. So let me set this up. I didn't have this planned, but let me do this real fast. Let me set this up on the screen here. Okay. So let me keep this here. And we're going to play this news brief, find out what's going on. How everybody doing out there? Everybody doing good? I hope everybody having a blessed day. Hope everybody driving safe and at peace, right? So, let's get to the content. Let's find out what's going on. Let's roll the tape, shall we? Let's go.
The 17-year-old accused of fatally stabbing a Texas student athlete during a track meet allegedly admitted to the crime.
Wow.
He also asked officers if his actions could be considered self-defense. That is according to a newly released arrest report. On Wednesday morning, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, a junior at Memorial High School in Frisco, Texas, was killed at a track meet. Police said a student from Centennial High School in Frisco, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, stabbed Metcalf in the chest during a fight. Anthony was arrested, now charged with first-degree murder, and is being held in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond.
Now think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This young man looked at the situation and thought he can get away with it after committing the crime. Are y'all peeping how this thing work? Look at this place. Do a knife belong there? Why is it that the black community don't stand for accountability? Why is it that we as a people don't like accountability? Why do you get mad at me when I raise awareness to these issues and it reflects back on us to have accountability. Do y'all not know what these type of situations are going to bring forth? More hate. You took away someone's son. You understand? Again, if it's the other way around, we cry foul play. We want to march. We want to do this. We want to do all of that. But when a black kid take out a white boy, all of a sudden now, rather than us hold them accountable, instead we want to set up fundraisers so that kid get the financial support, and you raise $250,000 for that kid so that he could get free after murder. Let me wind back the tape, man, so we could break it down.
17-year-old accused of fatally stabbing a Texas student athlete during a track meet allegedly admitted to the crime. Now, he also asked officers if his actions could be considered self-defense. That is,
wow. He asked the officers while getting taken in, could his actions be considered self-defense? How? You brought a knife. That's not self-defense. You had plans to use that knife, young man. You going to jail. You're going to prison for a long time. I hope you go to prison. I hope you go to prison. I hope you stay there for the rest of your natural life, just so you could be an example that if you go out there with a knife with the intent to kill, you deserve time in prison. I'm not going to be here to say, oh, he did what he did because he was bullied. I don't got no time for that because I was in there. I don't know what happened. All I know is that this issue had a problem over a damn seat. Over a seat, because he was in an area he wasn't supposed to be in, and the other young man tried to tell him you don't belong here, or whatever the case is. Listen, if you felt you belong there, if you felt you could be there, you go find somebody at the event who have authority, who can regulate the situation. You don't go to your bag and pull out a damn knife and murder someone and figure, well, I'm justified, I could go home now and play PlayStation. No, you going to prison, young man.
According to a newly released arrest report. On Wednesday morning, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, a junior at Memorial High School in Frisco, Texas, was killed at a track meet. Police said a student from...
Now watch this, guys. Y'all ready for this one? Y'all ready for this? Y'all watching this? Check this out, guys. Check this out. Check this out. This is funny. Check this out. You see this person is trolling the chat? A troll that's in the chat says, did Ringo say the same thing about the white dude killing the black man on the subway? That's funny that you said that. That's funny that you said that, because I said that the white boy was supposed to go to jail. See, dumbass, you're talking out your ass. That's the problem when you're a troll. So you know what we're going to do for you? We're going to pack your dumb ass up because you're stupid. If you actually took the time to research my platform, I covered that particular case. And in that case, I was all for the white guy going to prison, dumbass. Bye. That's what happens when you speak and you don't even know what you're talking about. See, on this platform, we hold everybody accountable. When the white guy did what he did, I was calling for him to serve time in prison. Because why? He killed that man unjustly. Doesn't matter what he felt. He killed him unjustly. But guess what? You didn't watch my video. But you're talking out your ass. You're trying to falsely accuse me and then slander my name. No, what I do with my work is I stand for justice and accountability for all. Bye. Now, let's get back to the tape. Let's go.
17-year-old accused of fatally stabbing a Texas student athlete during a track meet allegedly admitted to the crime. Now, he also asked officers if his actions could be considered self-defense. That is according to a newly released arrest report. On Wednesday morning, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, a junior at Memorial High School in Frisco, Texas, was killed at a track meet. Police said a student from Centennial High School in Frisco, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, stabbed Metcalf in the chest during a fight. Anthony was arrested, now charged with first-degree murder, and is being held in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond.
So during a fight, he decided to go into his bag and bring out a knife. Think about that, guys. He decided to bring out a knife. Well, how did the knife get there? Because he planned to kill him.
Fox 4 Dallas team has been covering all of the information here. Alex Boyer has the latest.
In that 7-page arrest warrant affidavit, several witnesses, including Metcalf's twin brother, describe how that deadly encounter went down. It also revealed that...
You know what's so crazy about this is all of the black racists that are in the comments, they're defending the black kid, talking about, well, the white twins was not on the track team. Black kid was on the track team, and the white boy grabbed the black dude. So you're justifying his actions. You're basically saying that if he grabbed him, the logical thing to do is take out a knife and stab him in his heart. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're saying? Or do you represent the black community? I want to know what side are you on? Do you represent the black community, the black racists, or do you represent your own team? Like, what team are you on? Because it clearly looks like you're encouraging violence and death and mayhem. So what you're saying is that the black kid was justified in killing. So we should see more of this then. That's what you're saying. We should see more people killing people like this because somebody didn't belong there. So you know what? Let's all bring steak knives and take people out. That's what you're saying? That don't make no damn sense. See, what's so crazy is none of you people were there, but yet all of you got your own take on what you believe happened. Like, none of you were there. None of you were in the stands. None of you were in the seating. But you got all this information. This is what happens when people watch other content creators that gaslight them. Let's get back to the tapes.
The suspect reportedly admitted to a Frisco police officer that he stabbed Metcalf.
My son is gone, and I don't really have words. I've tried to figure out what I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed.
The pain is still raw for the Metcalf family after 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed on Wednesday morning at a UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco.
That dude was extremely smart, always in the box. He just came to him real easy, and just him playing football as well just made him just a great person overall.
Here's the thing, man. I don't understand what's up with you youngins in today's day, fam. I went to an all-white high school, all-white junior high school, fam. And I remember my first day in the junior high, a white kid called me the N-word. Guess what I did to him? I broke his jaw. You know what I mean? With my hands. I didn't pull out a knife. I didn't say, yo, I'm going home. I'm going to get a gun. I'm going to do this. I didn't do all of that. You know what I mean? I broke his jaw. I made a clear example of him, and it sent a message throughout the school. You know what I mean? I had about 7 fights with different white kids in the school over some racist-ish. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And I set that record straight with my hands. I beat their ass. You know what I mean? That's what I did. And guess what happened? Respect came right after them fights. You see? So if he was in a fight with the dude because of any other reason, and you pull out a knife, you're a coward at that point. You're a coward. You pulled out a knife because you knew that he wasn't looking. And I can guarantee you, when he stabbed him, the kid was not looking. He was not looking. He went in his bag, he hid the knife on the side, and when the kid came at him, he plunged that knife into his heart, and he ran. He didn't stand over him and said self-defense. He ran. He ran like a damn coward, like a murderer. Why? Because his intent was to kill. That was his intent. He did not go there to just have a good day. He brought that knife because he wanted to end that young man's life. He never liked him. He couldn't stand him. He couldn't stand to see him thrive. He couldn't stand to see nothing with him. I don't care if he was bullied. I don't care. I don't want to hear none of that. Because if you feel like you're bullied, right, you have people that are in authority that you can go to. You can call someone on your phone. You can do this. You can get other people involved. But no, you pull out a knife and you kill. Well, you got to be held accountable for that. And the black community should be ashamed. Ashamed to actually try to justify this young man's actions by supporting him with $235,000. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. They should be facing their legal issues by themselves and suffering. I don't want to hear none of this mess. Because I'm going to tell you, all of you folks that are condoning this type of evil, I guarantee you, you're doing the very same thing to black people in the black community. I can guarantee you that you live in the ghetto, the hood, and there's nothing but violence around you, because there's no way you could be a decent human being and justify this kind of behavior. No, you are just one of those very same degenerate, delusional folks that we cannot stand, that we need to get rid of in the so-called black community. We don't want you there. You're the reason why these young kids are dying, because this situation have nothing to do with white or black. Y'all made it a white or black issue because you're a racist. That's the bottom line. You're a racist and you don't care about justice. You want the young man to go free because he's black. That's it. You don't care about the family that is mourning, even if it was a situation of somebody being bullied. We don't have all of those facts. Where are the facts? Where's the receipts on that? I don't want to hear nothing about bully. Where is the receipts? Where's the video? Where's the tapes? Where's the testimony from witnesses? Where's all of that? Bring that forth so we can examine it. Bring the evidence forth that said that Carmelo was bullied. Bring that evidence to us. I want to see the evidence. If you don't have that evidence, be quiet. I don't want to hear what you heard from a YouTube video. I don't want to hear what you heard from gossip sites, from other black racists. I want the facts. I want the facts. You can respectfully disagree all you want. Where is your facts? You're led by your emotion, and you are literally judging a situation based on color. That's what you're judging it by, because I can guarantee you, if it was a black kid that stabbed another black kid, you wouldn't give a fuck. You wouldn't care. You wouldn't care. You wouldn't care. If it was a black kid that stabbed another black kid in the heart, none of you ninjas that pull up at my live would even care. You would not say a word. You would not even be in the conversation. You know why? Because black people kill black people all the time and we don't even give a damn. We don't care. It happens so much, we get numb to it and we decide, you know what, I'm not even speaking on those issues no more because these animals are killing one another. But because it's a young black kid and a white boy, the first thing you assume is, oh, he was calling him the N-word. Do you got receipts of that? No. He was being bullied. Do you got receipts of that? No. Do you got witnesses? No. Is there anybody that could come forward and testify? Do you got any information? No. But what we got is evidence, which is a knife that was in Carmelo's bag, and he brought it to the event with the intent to kill. Why would he bring a knife? Why? Because he wanted to kill the young man. That's what he wanted. He hated him with a passion. And that's just the facts and the truth.
In that 7-page arrest warrant affidavit, several witnesses, including Metcalf's twin brother, describe how that deadly encounter went down. It also revealed that the suspect reportedly admitted to a Frisco police officer that he stabbed Metcalf.
He admitted to stabbing the kid. He admitted the whole situation.
My son is gone, and I don't really have words. I've tried to figure out what I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed.
The pain is still raw for the Metcalf family after 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed on Wednesday morning at a UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco.
I'm trying to figure out, is everybody here slow? Is everybody here slow? I'm trying to figure this out. Somebody said, who said he had intent to kill? So let me get this straight. You bring a knife to an event. What is that for? Sasha, do you have any brains in your head? Because it seems like you're not using your brain. If I'm going to a track meet or whatever the case is, and I bring a knife, what am I bringing that knife for? To run? Do I need that? Is that the baton? Why are you bringing weapons? Why are you bringing weapons in an environment where they're not allowed? What exactly is going on? Why would you want protection? And why would you bring a knife? See, you ninjas, man, you ninjas. You could tell who's a ninja in the comments from who's a human. Why would you bring a weapon at this event? Because you had an ongoing issue with somebody. Now, here's the real question. How come the white guys didn't have a knife? Where's their knife at, guys? Where's their knife? There's no knife. How come the white guys don't got a gun and a knife? And if you come in with the so-called disrespect, the name calling, then guess what? We just put you on the block list. You know, all that immaturity stuff, we don't got time for it, guys. You know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Let me get back to the point that we're making here. The white boy never brought a knife. He didn't have a gun, so he didn't have no intentions to harm anybody. So why is it that the black kid brought a knife? Because he was jealous. Just like a lot of you ninjas are jealous of me. Just like a lot of you ninjas are jealous of other people. Just like a lot of ninjas can't stand to see you prosper. They can't stand to see you dress good. They can't stand to see you drive good. They can't stand to see that you have a family. It's all jealousy. So the black kid was jealous of this white boy. He was jealous, you know? And now his life is finished. And see, y'all be thinking that kids don't be jealous of one another. Well, they were 17. Well, yeah. At 17, you're a young man. I don't consider you a kid, even though I might use that word kid interchangeably because technically my age to them, he's considered a kid to me. But my point is he's a young man. These are young men with promising futures. But he took that kid's future away out of jealousy. And y'all here justifying it, and I'm talking to the ones that I'm blocking that is coming in here speaking a bunch of garbage. They're justifying by saying, oh, it's self-defense. No, that's what the kid said. He admitted to stabbing him and asked the officer, hey, is what I'm doing considered self-defense? Bro, you done after this.
That dude was extremely smart, always in the box. He just came to him real easy. And
If Carmelo had a 3.7 GPA, why would he have a knife ready to kill? See, I don't want to hear none of that garbage about whatever he got education-wise. None of that stuff mean nothing, man. I don't know why people be floating around their education and their grade average and all this other garbage as if though that makes them intelligent. If you have a 3.7 GPA, why would a knife be in your backpack? Explain that to me. And why would you kill a man and you didn't calculate the cost? So obviously you failed in class. Look at all the ninjas that are pulling up into the live. Somebody said, bro, do you have intel? This young man's jealousy. He was assaulted, my man's. Assaulted by what? So let me get this straight. So if somebody assault you at the workplace, are you going to bring a knife and stab them? I'm asking you a serious question. If somebody assault you at your job, your place of employment, are you going to bring a knife and stab them in the heart? Answer the question. Answer the question. I'm waiting for you to answer the question, fam. Bro, do you have intel of the young man's jealousy? He was assaulted, my mans. Okay, I'm asking you. If you're at the job and somebody assault you, do you bring your knife and stab them in the heart? He says, if I have one in me, I think you meant on me. Got to check that grammar, bro. GPA probably low. Let's see what we got. If I have one on me, at the time, there is no tell what I would do. So you don't even know what you would do. So let me get this straight. So if the white boy punch you in the face, your first reaction is to kill him. That's your first reaction. This is crazy, fam. Only in the black community. Only in the black community will you get these kind of responses, guys. Let's get back to the tape. We already done know what their mentality is like. Let's go.
him playing football as well just made him just a great person overall.
Here's what happened according to...
Now think about this. I got to stop and talk about this mess. I just asked this ninja, what would he do if he's at his job, place of employment, the place you get your bread from to pay your bills, take care of your family. If somebody assault you, what would you do? And this person literally is basically saying that if they had their knife on them. So you're walking around on your job with a weapon. Place of employment, mind you. And you wondering why they need to cut all these programs that allow black people to get jobs in certain positions without them having the proper credentials. This is why. You guys are literally on the job walking around with guns and knives now. That's what's going on. Place of employment. You're supposed to protect your bag and your livelihood at all costs. If you assault me on the job, you're going to get arrested. You're going to get arrested. I'm going to press charges. You're going to lose your job, and I'm going to continue to keep my job. I'm not going to kill you. I'm not jeopardizing my future. No. I'm telling you, bro, this is why, as a black man, black woman, you got to be more concerned with black people because they're the ones that don't think. They don't think about their actions. They do not think. They're led by emotions.
Witnesses and the police report, Metcalf got into an argument with the suspect, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, over a seating dispute in the bleachers.
Over a seating dispute. You threw your whole life away over a seating dispute. This is sick, bro. Where are the fathers, man?
Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move from under the team's tent.
He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
Anthony opened his bag and reached inside and said to Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens." Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was it's just a tragedy what happened.
Touch me and see what happened is what he said. Touch me and see what happened. Why? Because he had the knife on him. No different than if a ninja got a burner on him. Touch me and see what happened. Why? Because he know he got the firearm on him. So his intent is to kill. His intent was to inflict bodily harm. And now this family is mourning the loss of not only the brother losing his twin, but the mom losing her son. You know what I mean? And we even got clips of the father talking about the situation. We're going to play that shortly.
He was extremely smart, always in the box. He just came to him real easy, and just him playing with football as well just made him just a great.
Let me rewind it back a little bit more. I want to hear what the mom said.
Twin brother described how that deadly encounter went down. It also revealed that the suspect reportedly admitted to a Frisco police officer that he stabbed Metcalf.
My son is gone, and I don't really have words. I've tried to figure.
Now we know youngins always talking ish, doing ish. We experience bullying. We've been bullied. You got the tough guys. You got everybody being the jocks and the this and that. All of that stuff. We already been there and done that, fam. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I was not thinking about killing nobody in school, bruh. I was only interested in punching somebody in the face when they got out of pocket. I enjoyed beating somebody up, bro, because I was not the dude that walk around looking for trouble. I just stayed quiet, stayed out of the way, mind my own business. And when you came at me sideways and you did some ish that was out of pocket, I'd pretty much dealt with you accordingly. And I made an example of you of wiping your ass all around the damn hallway and throwing your ass down the steps. And once that happened, word spread around the school. Yo, you heard what happened? Yeah, so got dusted up in the school, fam. That's great.
What I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed.
The pain is still raw for the Metcalf family after 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed on Wednesday morning at a UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco.
Look at Sasha. Sasha says, so why was he grabbed? Because he didn't belong there. He didn't belong there, and he was mouthing off, and he was talking ish. See, here's the thing with our people, bro. Y'all just love to justify death and murder. You know why? Because y'all kill one another. I realize why y'all don't see a problem with this. It's because y'all kill one another. That's why. Y'all kill one another so much. Y'all kill one another so much that it's normalized in the black community. It is absolutely normalized in the black community that if somebody step on your Jordans, you got to kill them. If somebody say your mama, you got to kill them. Right? If somebody just, went into the parking spot and just accidentally bumped your car a little bit. It's no marks, nothing dented. Let's kill them. You know what I mean? This is the problem with ninjas. Look at somebody says, don't touch people, simple. So let me get this straight. So if somebody touch you, you gonna kill them? I'm telling you, bro, you got to be concerned with black folk, guys. Black folk is the problem, bro. These people are emotional, bro, and they're ready to kill at the drop of a dime. That's why I stay away from them, bro.
He was extremely smart, always in the box. He just came to him real easy, and just him playing football as well just made him just a great person overall.
Here's what happened according to witnesses and the police report. Metcalf got into an argument with the suspect, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, over a seating dispute in the bleachers. Metcalf told
another clown comes into the live chat, says, that's assault, buddy. White people have the same logic the other way around. You'll never call out white people because you a Sambo. Fam, I called out white people many times on this platform, dumbass. Haven't you heard? I just blocked another clown for accusing me of not doing that. Y'all remember the situation in the subway where the white boy killed the black guy? The white guy killed the black guy? Well, I wanted the so-called white guy to go to prison. And I was calling for justice. But guess what? You know what I mean? The black community wasn't there to say, hey, man, great job reporting the news. They didn't care. You see that? But now that I'm reporting on this, all of a sudden I'm a Sambo. All of a sudden the name calling comes in. And you wondering why Kevin Samuels told women that, you know, that always have an issue, that they use shame, guilt, insults, and the need to be right. You're wondering why. This is absolutely sad, bro.
He needed to move from under the team's tent.
He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is like because they have personal items there.
Because they have personal items there, which mean they didn't want nobody to steal their ish. Because they know how ninjas get down. Ninjas are always stealing. And that's just the truth. Ninjas are always stealing other people's ish. You heard what the mama said. They have their personal items there. They didn't want that ninja over there. Let's get back at the tapes.
Anthony opened his bag.
I don't even know what a Sambo is, to be honest. I thought it sounded like a hat or something you're supposed to wear. Let's go.
Reached inside and said to Metcalf,
you said there's two sides to every story? Actually, there's three sides. Your side, my side, and the truth. You got it wrong, pal. It's three sides. It's not two sides to every story. It's three sides.
touch me and see what happens.
You see the threat? That's the threat right there from the ninja. He said, touch me and see what happens. Touch me and see what happens, which means the white boy didn't do nothing to him first. It was the ninja that was the aggressor. The ninja said, touch me and see what happens. See, you folks that are taking up for the criminal, you folks that are not holding him accountable are sick. The black kid said, touch me and see what happens. That's the threat. The threat was already made because he was in an area they had no business being in, or whatever the case is. He said, touch me and see what happened. He went there with the intent to kill. He had his knife on him and he was enraged and he wanted a reason to kill him. And there go the reason.
Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He told him to move.
He wasn't supposed to be there. He was it's just a tragedy what happened.
That's when Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest.
So, Cindy, you condone what happened? Cindy said he touched him and found out. That's the mentality of ninjas, bro. I'm telling you, something's wrong with black people, guys. Black folk are, listen, something is wrong with our people, bro. They love violence and death. Y'all would just touch him and found out, like, so let me get this straight. So if your kids, if you have kids, touch somebody else's kids and they decide to stab your child to death, are you going to be cool with that? I want to know, because y'all mentality is sick. He touched them and found out. That's the mindset of black people, bro. Sick.
months before running away. When Anthony was taken into custody by a Frisco police officer, Anthony reported...
Notice, now I'm being accused of hating my own people. You can't make this up, people. Notice this. When you hold your people accountable, it is considered hate. You hate your own people. That's what it is. You hate your own people, Ringo. So let me get this straight. So me holding a ninja, a murderer, accountable for murder is now considered hating on your own people. Listen, I am glad I'm far away from y'all. I do not want to be around ninjas. I'm serious. I do not want to be around you. Because the culture that you folks hold up is a culture of murder and death, and you don't like the truth. You cannot stand the truth. You're racist at heart. You love to kill one another. You don't police your own communities. But when a black man kill a white kid and it's clearly murder, rather than you hold the black kid accountable, instead you attack the black man that's holding the black kid accountable. This is crazy. You're right. I'm not of you, dumbass. At Opening Bell TV, I'm not of you. You're right. I'm not. I'm not a ninja. I'm not like you people. I'm not an animal. I'm not a savage. I'm not a racist. I'm nothing like you. You know what I mean? It's just a sad situation. You know? It's just a bunch of hate from you damn animals, man. It's just sick. Let me pack your ass up and get you on out of here. Bye. Let's get back to the tape.
He confessed to the crime, saying he put his hands on me. I told him not to, adding that I was protecting myself.
How you protecting yourself and you told the kid, if you touch me, you're going to find out? What are you talking about? You protecting yourself? No, protecting yourself is to get out of the situation. Nobody ever taught that young man on how to de-escalate. That's the problem with you ninjas and the reason why your daddy wasn't in your life. You know what I mean? Because if you had a father that was in your life, you would have been able to learn how to de-escalate from situations. If I'm in a situation and somebody's acting like a fool and I even know I got my damn gun on me, I'm going to literally say to myself, you know what? I could easily take this person out, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave, man. I'm going to de-escalate. I'm going to get up on out of the situation and I'm going to go home, bro. Because why? I know what's going to happen next. I know I got the upper hand. I know I got the right deck of cards. So I'm going to get up on out of the situation. But you ninjas, you'll sit there and justify this type of nonsense. And you wondering why everybody want to move as far away from black folk as possible. You wondering why. You wondering why there are racists in the world. You're wondering why they got sundown towns that they don't want you around. You wondering why. It's because look at how you conduct yourself anytime somebody get killed. When a white person kill a black person, you marching and protesting and acting a fool. When a black person kill a black person, you don't even care. There is no marching, there is no protest, there's no outrage, there's nobody crying for justice. There are kids in the black community that die due to gun violence and drugs, and nobody give a damn. But the minute a black kid stabs a white boy, all of a sudden now it's justified because he put his hands on him. But everybody's ignoring the fact that the black kid brought the knife there. The black kid made the threat and said, hey, if you put your hands on me, watch and see what happens. Nobody's listening to that. Nobody's listening to the threats. The black kid threatened him already. It was already a threat. He already premeditated what he was going to do. There was no so-called self-defense. No.
And then asked the police officer, is he going to be okay? Metcalf died in his brother's arms.
I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well.
This whole community has really wrapped their arms around us, and if I could say anything to the nation, I would say to make sure that you just hug your babies tight. Because you don't know when the last time you get to do it.
In a statement released by the Metcalf family this afternoon, they say their focus is...
See, when you're a black man, you speak the truth. Look what they call you, the tether. You're a tether. You're a tether. That's from the FBA community, guys. That's another hate group that's on social media. They call themselves FBAs, and what they do is if you're a black person and you actually have common sense and you stand for justice and you're accountable, what they'll do is they'll throw you in a pot and call you a tether. It's a hate group that pretty much hate anybody. Even if you're black, they hate you. If you're black, they hate you. If you're white, they hate you. I don't know what kind of group that is and what kind of justification they think they have to have that level of racist in them while at the same time calling white people racist. It's just a sad situation, guys. That's why I keep telling you, black folk, get out of all these clubs, these cults, these groups. Get out of the Christianity thing. Get out of the Black Hebrew Israelite cults. Get out of the FBA cults. Get out of all of those cults and save your soul. Save yourselves, fam. Save yourselves. You see? Susie says you're doing this for views. Last time I checked, this is YouTube. It's all about views. You're here viewing me. You're watching my show. I do content for views. Who does content and don't want people to view it? You sound crazy. Go check yourself. You know? Absolutely crazy. At Zeri, I was born in America. My daddy was born in America. Lives in Texas. He's an Army vet. My mama's Panamanian. And I speak Spanish and English. And your point is? You're wasting your time. Let's get back to the tapes.
Now on laying Austin to rest. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Anthony remains in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond. Alex Boyer, Fox 4 News.
Alex, thank you so much. Now, our Fox 4 Dallas team, as I mentioned, has been covering all of this from the get-go. They had a one-on-one conversation with Austin's father.
Well, it started with a call from his football coach who was not at the track meet and said, I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, where at? And he said, Kukendall Stadium. And I said, I'm on my way. So I drove up there, went through a load of police officers, and was able to see my son on the gurney with a huge hole and blood all over him. And they were pumping him. He wasn't breathing, and his eyes were rolled back in his head.
Wow.
So I had to find his brother. They're twins. And so I found Hunter and tried to get him under control as best we could. And then I loaded him up in my car and we drove to the hospital as quickly as possible. And we waited. And when the doctors came in and said that he didn't make it.
See, the problem with a lot of you black folk is that you got to learn the politics of the white community. In the white community, it's not all about you trying to act like how you act in the black community. In the white community, you know what affects white folk more than anything? When you shine. When you're a black man, black woman, and you live in a white community and you shine, that affects them seriously. That's all you got to do. You understand? You in a white community, all you got to do is shine, look good, drive good. You know what I'm saying? Just look good, have a nice looking family, and just be about your own business. And that bothers anybody that can't stand you being there. Because I live in a predominantly white community. I live in an area where I can guarantee you there's a racist somewhere around, all over the place. I live in a community where they got all these weird flags on their house. Like, listen, if I do videos about all these things that I see, guys, you got all these people that got all these weird flags, and all of these flags have all sorts of harmful intent, all sorts of information. And when you look at these areas, you're like, oh, I know what kind of person that is. But I ignore all of these people. You know what I mean? I don't got nothing to say to nobody. I don't rock with nobody. You know what I mean? I just focus on my family, my business. And if you fuck around, you're going to have a problem. That's just how I move, bro. You know what I mean? But the one thing that I know is that when you are in a predominantly white community, the way you deal is you just shine. That gets everybody's attention. When you shine and you're doing good and you're prospering and everything is good, that right there make your haters upset. Makes them upset. And I do everything by the books, which means if you're a reckless neighbor, if you're doing bullshit, I'm going to have you on video and I'm going to report your ass to the law and I'm going to get documents and paperwork on you. And if you fuck around again, your ass is going to prison. I'm not playing with nobody. I do everything by the books. I do everything by the books the way a white person would do to a black person. I play their game. I play the exact same game. I put the paper trail together, and I have your ass on camera doing dirt so that when we in that court, I can show that video to the damn judge, and the judge will light your ass up. Period. That's how I do business. I'm not going to get aggressive. I'm not going to go outside with my gun. I'm not going to do this and start threatening people and then the law come and arrest me. Just because you have a right to bear arms does not mean you run outside with your gun acting a fool, because your ass will still go to prison. Some of you clowns don't know that. Just because you have the right to bear arms does not mean you walk outside your house and start acting a fool, making threats to neighbors. You don't do that stuff. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You got to understand the law of the land. And that's something that a lot of black folk don't understand. You don't know the law of the land. Once you understand the laws, you know how to play the game. It's just that simple. Let's go.
It was tough. My son took it extremely hard. I'm still in shock, to be honest. I mean, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child.
Notice the jealousy. Steven says, not Steven, who this person here? Kerr says, bro, those people probably don't even notice you. Calm down, fam. People aren't thinking about you like that. Yeah, you thinking about me, fam. You watching me. What you talking about? You watching me. You thinking about me, bro. What you talking about? See, the truth that I just shared hurt that person so much because I just spit some real game. And they don't like that. So now all of a sudden, those people ain't watching you. They ain't thinking about you, fam. Everybody in my community watch me. Everybody in my community watch me, fam. And I know I have haters and I might have people that actually like what I do. But at the end of the day, they watching. You know why? Because I stand out from the crowd. Period. Yeah, you mean you're sick. You're sick in your head. Matter of fact, let me help you out and pack your ass up and get you up on out of here. Bye-bye, fam. Let's go. You gots to go. If I'm sick, why are you here watching me, clown? You wasting your damn time.
And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that. And
there needs to be security because he had no business bringing a knife. Why would a knife be there? It don't make no sense. Let's go.
Maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today. So, I've already forgiven the person who stabbed him. God's going to take care of everything. God's taking care of my son. I kissed him. When I kissed him goodbye, this for the last time.
Look how the father's breaking down, fam. Father breaking down because they took his son's life, fam. Took his whole son's life in an act of rage.
I told him it's not goodbye, it's see you later. So, I just have to trust in God and my faith to pull us through.
And God is going to bring justice. You know what I mean? Carmelo going to prison for life. You know what I mean? He took a life. His life have to end now in the pen. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? I don't care if he black, it is what it is. He got to go and burn. You know what I mean? He took a life. It's time for his life to be taken too.
I don't understand his plan. We're all subject to trial and tribulations. God didn't say life was going to be fair or wasn't going to be hard, but he said it'll always be beside you and never leave your side. So we're going to lean deep into our faith. There's a vigil tonight at our church at 7 o'clock. I will be attending also. The outpouring of students and coaches.
Notice another troll in the building. We're going to have to pack this person up too. Someone said, someone named Knowledge is Necessary. Wake Up says, this dude Ringo is sick, paid to race bait, speak some truth with lied beings, division. Fam, you need to go back to school and check your grammar. Let me help you out. Pack your ass up. You got to go. Bye-bye. You don't got time for it. Let's get back to the tape. We don't got time for the trolls. Let's go.
And friends and family that showed up at the hospital immediately. It was just shows the way my son touched people's lives. He was voted team MVP of the football team this year. He carried a 4.0. He was on National Honor Society. He's ranked in the top 50 of the state in his position. He's having D1 colleges contacting.
We have to pack the trolls up. Don't worry about it. They'll sign up under a new account and come on back in. That's what they always do. These people got all the time in the world to troll all day. You got to pack the trolls up because the trolls think they're going to come here and do what they want to do. It's not going to happen here. Over here, we official. We hold everybody accountable. We hold white people accountable, black people accountable, Asian people accountable. Everybody get held accountable. Let's go. Because the problem that we have, ladies and gentlemen, is that black people don't like accountability. They don't like that. If you read through the comments, if you look at the comments, a lot of the trolls that are coming in are saying stupid stuff. They'll bring up old stories like, well, you know, when white people have cases and, you know, they get off the case and they're able to be free and, you know, but when it's a black person. So what they're basically saying is let's ignore the crime. Let's ignore the fact that this guy murdered this young man. Let's ignore that. We just want him to go free so we could get some get back at white people. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, guys. There's no other way around it.
He had a great life ahead of him. And to be taken away, it's such a tragedy. I mean, I can't even tell you how I feel because I don't know how I feel. I feel numb at the moment.
The father is broken because he lost his kid, bro. Lost his kid. And where it looks, I don't know if the father lives with the family, because you notice that when they had the interview with the mom, she was separate with the son, and then they took video with the father right now. So he probably lives, you know, they probably separated, you know what I mean? One of them situations. But they still was able to get his take on the situation, and he's hurt by that. He didn't even realize that. He get the phone call, and it just tore him up inside to the point where he can't even speak on camera.
Yeah. I just hope that this doesn't happen to any other parent.
And another thing about the black community that is sick is that we don't want to acknowledge that we could be racist. That's another problem in the black community. In the black community, we want to focus on white people as being racist at all times, right? We'll say if a white person used the N-word, they're a racist. But black people, we can use it in songs. Black people can use it in videos. Black people can use it in commentary. I thought it's supposed to be a slur. I thought it's supposed to be a racist slur. So why is it that black people can call each other N-words all day and it's perfectly okay? It's allowed in movies. You know, we don't have a problem doing it. But if a white person do it, we get offended. You don't think that's dumb? Like, why is it okay? I mean, in slavery, did black people call each other N-words? I don't think so. I don't think so. In slavery, black people did not call each other N-words. During the civil rights movement and all this other stuff, black people were not calling each other N-words. It wasn't a thing of popularity. It wasn't this thing of us having a great time degrading one another. We weren't doing that. But today, 2025, we call each other N-words with pride. We do this with pride, but we get upset when other people do it. Something's wrong with us mentally, man. We're sick. Something's wrong with us, man.
And their child. But I do hope for justice. I do hope for justice. Because this is unacceptable.
And the fact that, you know, someone was immediately taken into custody, they know who did this, they are charging him with murder. I mean, how does that make you feel that police immediately got this person?
First of all, I feel sorry for that individual because he's now made a mistake that's going to cost him the rest of his life. The hard part that cost me is I lost my son, and his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
Watched his brother die in his arms, and people out here supporting Karmelo. A brother held his brother in his arms while the blood was gushing from his chest. Couldn't stop the blood. And yet the black community is siding with Karmelo, saying it was justified, that it was self-defense. That's how sick this world is, bro. You know? It's just a sad situation, man. The black community can be racist just like the white community. See, I'm not denying that there are white folk that are racist and hate black people. I'm not denying that. At the same time, black people can be just as racist. There are black people that hate white people with a passion all over YouTube. You got YouTube platforms that promote hate every day. You know, all they do is cause division. See, what I do is I hold everybody accountable. That's what I do. Whether you black, white, doesn't matter. I'm holding you accountable. If you commit a crime, I'm holding you accountable. That's what I do. The problem with the black community is when you hold black people accountable, the black community don't see it. The first thing they do is they say, oh, you don't do that for white people. And did you watch all my videos? Oh, you didn't watch all my videos, right? You didn't. You see, you didn't, which means you're just running your mouth, but you don't know my work. See, when black people kill black people in the black community, we do nothing about it. How many of you live in the hood right now and you know who the killers are? You know who the drug dealers are? Did you call the cops? No. Because why? You don't care. You don't care, right? But if a white guy is in the ghetto, right, and you see him on the corner selling drugs, a white guy, all of a sudden now you'll feel some type of way. You see how that works? But if a black person is doing it, you don't care. If black people are shooting guns, you saw them when they ran into their house. You know exactly who killed that guy. Did you tell the police? No. You know why? Because you're just like them. You're a savage, and you don't care about justice. You don't care about a mother who's crying that her son died in the crossfire. You don't care. The black community is evil. There's nothing good over there. You know what I mean? People ask me all the time when I tell them I'm originally from New York, and they be like, well, why did you move? Why this? Why that? To get away from all the drama, to get away from all the crime, to get away from all the ninja mentality. I don't like it. It's disgusting. You understand? It's too fast. Too much crime. Listen, if you live in New York and you got Citizens app, that thing is going off all day. All you see is stabbings and shootings every day. Stabbings and shootings every day in the black community. Every day. And nobody do anything about it. You got YouTube channels that only focus on when white people kill black people. That's a racist channel. If you visit on YouTube, any YouTube channel, and all they do is focus on content where white people kill black people, that is a racist channel. Because what they're trying to do is just make black people angry. A balanced channel is when you have all different types of crimes and they're being reported on by content creators that have a balanced approach to all crimes, no matter if white, black, black on black, white on white, it doesn't matter. Because they're not causing division. They're speaking truth to power about a situation. You understand? And it's just sick how we are as a people. We don't want to hold nobody accountable. You guys gave that young man $250,000 for what? To protect him when he murdered somebody? No.
Can you tell me a little bit more about Austin, about, his personality?
Austin was a leader. He led the football team. He was voted team MVP by his players and coaches.
What was his position?
He played linebacker. Him and his brother both play linebacker. He played inside. His brother plays outside.
What do you mean young black men need mentorship? It's not their fault. Their moms were reckless with men. What about the men that were fucking their moms? What about that? You see what I mean? Do you see how that person just blamed the black woman? This is what I mean about the black community. That person just blamed black women by saying that black women were reckless with men. But the person never held men accountable for being reckless with women. What about the men that sleep around with women and impregnate them and then leave? What about those men? I'm tired of you ninjas degrading the black woman, blaming her. I get it. She made decisions. I get it. But what about the ninja? What about the black man that was with her? This kind of reminds me of the Bible where you had the woman that was caught in the act of adultery. And what did they do? They brought the woman. They never brought the man. If she was caught in the act of adultery and you guys wanted her to get stoned according to the law, why y'all didn't bring the man with her? Why? Because black men are supposed to be accountable for why their woman is out of pocket. I'm going to tell you straight, and all you guys are going to get upset. If you feel the black woman is out of pocket in America today, it's your fault. Ooh, you upset now. You upset now. If you believe as a black man that the black woman is out of pocket, out of order today, and is uncooperative, not loyal, argumentative, it's your fault as a black man. You know why? Because God Almighty put you men here to lead the woman. And because us men are not leading, we don't want to work, right? We want a woman to take care of us. We just want to fuck and leave. We don't care about these women. So because we're doing all of that, the women are angry. And now that they're angry and they're disloyal and disrespectful towards us, now we want to complain? Nah, the best thing you could do as a sorry-ass father is prepare your son to be a decent man so that we don't got to repeat this same BS. But nobody's going to hold nobody accountable. Nobody's going to hold nobody accountable. If black women are out of pocket, it's your fault, black man. I don't care how you feel. You could cry. You could say I'm a simp. You could say I'm pandering to women. You could say I'm trying to build a female audience. You could say all of that junk. At the end of the day, if women are out of pocket, it is because men are out of pocket. Because we're supposed to lead, period. If all of us brothers are on point, if all of us are working, leading, doing the right thing, not sleeping around getting women pregnant, not abusing women, not verbally abusing, not graping women, not doing no dirt, and we're just about business, oh, the women are going to respect all the men because all the men are on point. All the brothers are on point. All the brothers show brotherly love. We're all respectful of one another. We're not committing crimes. We're just decent quality men. And the ladies are going to be so impressed. They're going to be like, my goodness, man, what a time. What a day to live in where all of these black men are on point. Just look at them. They're all working. We're building communities. We're doing this. We're building houses. We're doing construction. We're doing all this stuff. And the women are just sitting back enjoying the show. But no, we're not doing that. We're in and out of prison. We're selling drugs. We're committing crimes. We're looting. We're boosting. We're robbing stores. We're killing one another. That's what we're doing. You see what I mean? And because of that, it stands out more than you brothers that been to college, you brothers that are on the 9-to-5 working. We're not talking about you guys. You guys that are on point doing what you got to do. We're not talking about you. We're talking about the degenerates, the savages. You know what I mean? Of course, we know that there are good brothers out there that are doing what they got to do. We know that already. You know what I mean? If it's not you, if it don't apply, let it fly. We're talking about these damn savages. Because there are too many savages, it makes all of us look like animals. I could be a black man in a decent community, living my life, taking care of my family. People will still look at me as a ninja. You know why? Because the image of black men is messed up in America. You know why? Because we don't hold ourselves accountable. So everybody look at us as if though we're a bunch of damn savages. That's what they do. They don't look at us as decent. In other words, we got to be proven. We got to be proven. And I don't blame nobody. I don't blame nobody for wanting to prove you because that's what they're supposed to do. You don't supposed to just take somebody in. You're supposed to prove them to see whether or not they're a decent person. You know? I don't just look at somebody and figure, okay, since they're white, they must be a decent person. No, because I know there's racists out here. I know there's all sorts of crazy people out here and lunatics. So I don't just look at you and say, oh, you're white, you live in a nice neighborhood, you must be a nice person. I've seen all sorts of dirt right in the community where I'm at right now. Enough to make me know that everybody is not right. You know what I mean? Everybody is not right, guys. There's a lot of people that do dirt. So it is what it is. Let's get back to the tape.
We were so fortunate this past weekend that me, Hunter, and Austin, we grew up hunting together, and we had as a matter of fact, the ranch we own, the lease was not renewed, so we could never hunt there again. And we went there for the last weekend.
What we suffer from in the black community is internalized racism. That's what we suffer from. Because of the internalized racism, we hate everybody else, you know, and it deals with poverty. Poverty is one of the biggest problems in the black community. Because of that, hate and jealousy is developed.
Dad, I've never shot a pig before. I want to get a pig this weekend. I said, okay. Lord and behold, it's a heck of a story.
What do you mean they considered us? You wasn't in slavery. What are you talking about? You know what I don't like about black folk, guys, is that we always want to talk about slavery. When are y'all going to move on from slavery? Y'all wasn't there for slavery. You weren't on a cotton field. So stop living off of the crutch of your ancestors. You were not there. You're in a whole new day. And yet you still dwelling on the past as if though that's the only thing you could remember. You know, with all the money we spend, with all the money women spend, men spend, black men, black women, we have so much money and power that we could change everything. But we don't. You know why? Because we don't like each other. We don't like each other. And that's the truth that nobody wants to listen to. We only act like we're brothers and sisters when it involves a white person harming a black person. That's the only time we act like we sticking together. But we're a bunch of hypocrites. Because if a brother or sister was to come to you and say, hey, I'm behind on my rent, could you front me the money? You ain't giving them nothing. You ain't going to help them. You ain't going to get them a shelter, a place to stay. You ain't going to do a damn thing. You know what I mean? We don't treat each other like family. We don't treat each other like brothers and sisters. We don't do that. You know, the only community that exercise community is the Jewish community, the Asian community. You know what I mean? They exercise community where they stick together no matter what. They don't play those games. But the black community, we don't stick together at all. We do not thrive and build with one another at all. It's sad. Even in hip hop, you think black people buy hip hop music? No, white people buy it. If white people, Asian people are not supporting hip hop won't exist. Hip hop won't exist if white people and Asians and other groups don't support it. Because the black community do not buy albums, they do not buy records, they do not buy music, they download every damn thing and want everything for free. Some of you might purchase your stuff, but the majority, they don't buy nothing. Who go to concerts the most? Black people or white people? White people. They go to the concerts. They pay for the big tickets. They want to see the artists up front and personal. They're the ones that's causing these rappers to eat. Right? But yet, what do we do for one another? Nothing but hate. If you see a brother or sister with talent, what do? Do you help them grow? No, you hate on them so that they can fall because you don't want to see them succeed.
But he shot his first pig this weekend. And we all talked, me, him, and Hunter, both. We all talked about these are memories that you take forever. After I'm gone, you can tell your kids about, well, your grandfather and I, we were hunting and we stalked and it took 2 hours, but we got this. I got my first pig, and he was so excited. And I'm so fortunate to be able to spend that weekend, not knowing it was the last weekend I'll ever spend with him.
That's crazy, man. The father literally telling a wonderful story about spending time with his son. And he didn't even know that was the last time. Now you have to understand how broken this father is, man. How devastated he is. Losing your son. And one of the greatest things of all parents is to see their kids grow up and see what they're going to become. You know, and now he got to go bury his son.
And he also was on the track and field team?
Also was, football was his pride and joy.
Yeah.
He was working on track to increase his speed. Matter of fact, he's already dropped this 40 times. He was telling me about how he's dropped it. He's going to drop it some more. And he was an amazing, dedicated athlete. And by the outpouring of his friends and family that showed up immediately at the hospital, goes to show how he impacted other people's lives.
And what did that mean to you to know that your son did that?
Well, for me, I was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, and I was not supposed to live. And God blessed me because he knew I needed to be a father for these two boys. My two boys is what my life lived. I lived my life for my children. That was my why to keep fighting, and I'm cancer-free. So God had a plan for me. So I was able to watch and be blessed so much. But having both my sons are amazing. My other son is just crushed. And I feel for him now, and he'll never be the same. None of us will. Grief, we all go through it, but the thing about grief is you don't get over it. You just learn to live with it. So, I don't have a choice other than to carry on. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure Austin's never forgotten. I'm sure he won't be. He's touched a lot of people's lives. He was a great individual, a leader, an athlete, very smart, 4.0. I couldn't ask for a better son. Two of them. I couldn't ask. They were my whole life. And for it to be taken away so senselessly, when this guy was just sitting in Ron's spot and they asked him to move.
Wow.
And he winds up stabbing my son in the heart and killing him.
Over a seat, guys. Imagine. You're not even supposed to be in that section and you kill a man over a seat. But you want to tell me about his grade point average and all this other garbage? I don't want to hear about that. This is senseless, man. And it starts from the black community. It starts from the black community. And that's the part we don't want to understand. We don't want to hold nobody accountable. You get upset at me. See, if I was a white guy saying this, oh, y'all would call me a racist. Y'all would call me a racist if I was saying these things. And if I was white, oh, yeah, I would have been definitely a racist automatically because I'm trying to hold you accountable. You know, nobody should be supporting Karmelo. Nobody should be supporting his fundraiser. Why would anybody support that? Why would anybody support a fundraiser? Look at this mess. They done gave this kid $234,000, bruh. Why? He murdered someone. He don't deserve anything. He deserved prison. He deserved prison. You see? That's what he needs right now. Doesn't matter how young he is. He made his choice. Now his life is over. So he's not really smart.
It's unfortunate, but he's gonna have to answer to those consequences. They have no contact with this person ever before. I can tell you what happened. I know firsthand. I wasn't there, but I talked to my son. Yeah, what is everything. I know exactly how it all transpired. It was a multi-Frisco High School track meet. Yep. Many high schools were there. It started to rain, and they have their own little tent for memorial, and they were sitting there, and someone was behind them mouthing off, and he turned around and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." He said, "Well, you don't belong here. You don't go to memorial." He had a Centennial tracksuit on, and he said, "You need to leave. This ain't your spot." And some words were discussed. I'm not going to say on camera he asked him to leave and basically said, "Make me." And then he wound up stabbing him in the heart and killing him. All over someone sitting in the wrong spot at a track meet.
You see it? Do you see what just happened? The pops just brought out some receipts based on what the son brought forth. And you know that's how black people are. You see? They always want to mouth off. You're in the wrong spot. Rather than you go to your spot, you want to infiltrate somebody else's spot. You're not supposed to be there. How many times have you seen situations where people fight over a seat? A seat. A seat. And people killing one another.
Now, I don't blame his parents. I don't blame him.
You know how many times on a 9 to 5 I wanted to go off on somebody, man, and break their face or do something crazy. And I had to take myself and walk away. I had to walk away because I had to look at my life. And I said to myself, if I do this, I'm going to jail. I'm going to lose my job. My family is going to suffer. And I had to count the costs. It's like black men in today's day don't count the costs. You guys have to count the costs. Listen, even if somebody wronged you and you feel justified in doing something, you got to still count the costs. You got to look at this and be like, man, if I do this, what am I going to lose? Will they believe me? You got to look at all of that type of stuff. You're number one, you're black. So automatically, you know what's coming. So the odds is already against you, right? The odds is already against you. So you got to think before you react. Karmelo did not think. He just reacted out of emotions because that was what he wanted to do. He was walking around with a knife with the intent to kill somebody. You don't walk around with a knife unless you plan on using it. I could understand if you're in the hood and there's a lot of violence and you feel you got to protect yourself, so you have some sort of weapon on you, whether it's a knife, mace, a gun, legally, I hope. And that's pretty much what you do just in case. But he went there with the intent to kill. He went there with a knife in his bag because he was either plotting on killing this young man or he had issues with other people. And he kept that knife on him. You see? Because he went and sat in a spot that he wasn't supposed to be at. So he probably was there to taunt the kid or taunt somebody to try to show out.
But they all will suffer too. I feel for their family because now their son will probably wind up in prison and learn that he killed someone. And he devastated and took my son that I can never get back. It's unfortunate for everyone involved. And I just hope it doesn't happen to anyone else. This world, you know, there need to be changes, and it starts at home. So I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm just happen to say that.
No, you are judging, sir. But you got to say what needs to be said straight. It starts from home. You said the exact thing that needs to be said. See, this is the problem. Anytime situations like this happen, right, white people get scared to say what they need to say. No, y'all got to say what y'all need to say. We got to get back to that. We got to start to say what needs to be said. Don't cower down because you're white and you figure, well, I don't want to say the truth because I don't want to be labeled a racist. No, you got to speak the truth. You got to say what needs to be said so people can hear it, because you're going to always label you a racist. So get over that. Say what needs to be said, because sometimes when you say it straight, right, if you could say it straight and I do a video on it, I'm going to maximize what you said because I know what needs to be said. That's why I say what I need to say. And notice what they do to me. They call me a Sambo. They say that I'm a race traitor. They say that I'm a hater. They call me every name in the book, and I'm a black man. So if they treat me like this, then you know they're going to look at you as a racist if you're white. And you speak the truth, oh yeah, they're going to definitely come for you. See, I don't care what they do. They can say whatever they want about me, you know, because they're my haters. They don't support me. The ones who support me, they rock with the platform. They support the things that I talk about. You know what I mean? Because it makes sense. So the people that don't like me, I don't care if they don't like me because they're not paying the bills. They're not helping to support the shows. They're not helping to do anything. They're just sitting back being a damn hater because they don't want accountability. But you're right. It starts from the home, which means where were the parents to teach this young man how to de-escalate? You know, how to de-escalate. I remember when I got a particular job while in New York, they trained us on de-escalation and anger management, because the type of work that we were doing, it involved being around a lot of people in the black community. And it's sad, but they had to teach us anger management and various other things to prepare us to how to de-escalate if we got in a situation. And I'm going to tell you, the training process was very good. It really helped me. It really did help me because I had my own runnings while on the job. And I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the training, I would have probably been locked up. If it wasn't for the training, I would have been locked up. Something would have happened. The training kicked in. I couldn't even believe. I was shocked by myself of how I would walk away from a situation, or I would talk in a calm manner rather than being aggressive. And I would remember, I'm at the job. I'm at the workplace. And all the training would kick in. Remember, this is your livelihood. This is how you pay your bills. This is how you pay your rent. Your family depends on you. You got your freedom. You got to think about what you're going to lose. You got to think about this. You got to think about that, the setbacks. And it all made sense. And I looked at the person that was being aggressive, and this person is trying to take away my freedom. This person is trying to make me sabotage all my goals. I'm not going to let them do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to de-escalate. I'm going to speak in a tone that is not going to escalate this situation anymore. And if need be, I'll correct anything that I've done wrong in the process. And in the process of me doing that, yo, I ain't going to hold you. It made the other person that was wrong apologize and recognize they're wrong. I've been in situations where I could have hurt somebody bad, man. And I knew what I was capable of doing. That person would have been gone, bro. And I de-escalated the situation. And the dude came back and was like, yo, bro, man, yo, my bad, dog. It was my fault, man. My apologies, man. Flipping on you, man. Yo, that's not even my character, man. I was upset. And dude literally came and had a whole confession service right there. And everything was squashed right there. And every other day when I saw the dude, everything was cool. I'm saying what's up to dude. But at that moment, I could have hurt this dude badly. You know what I mean? And I would have lost everything in my freedom. But if I would have never followed the training, I would have been done. So it starts from home. These young men are not being trained. The fathers are not there. The mothers are not there for these young men. I don't care about his grade point average and all that other stuff. He's still not smart. He's not a smart kid. He took a knife. His intent was to kill. He wasn't thinking about his future. He wasn't thinking about the costs. He was more into his emotions. So he ruined his future. I don't know all the things that young man was capable of doing. He probably had a whole future ahead of him too. But he threw it away. He threw it away over emotions. And this is something black men have to overcome in the black community. Getting your emotions under control. Let other people be as foolish as they want. But you got to be calm, cool, collected, man. You can't let somebody take you out of your character.
Try to be kind in this world. And if you can't be kind, find someone who is.
Is there anything else that you want people to know about Austin? You want people to know how he'll be remembered? Is there anything else that you haven't shared?
I mean, it's hard right now. My thoughts are all over the place, to be honest. I mean, there's so many great things about him. I could probably sit here for 3 hours and go on and on and on. But he was a great friend. He was a leader. He was well respected in school by his teammates, by his coaches, by his friends. His girlfriend came up to me and said, you know what, he talks about you a lot, and he loved you, and he treated me with great respect. And he goes, you taught him that.
And now it messed up the possibility of grandkids. So the pops is hurt forever. You see what I mean? It's crazy, man.
He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity. So he was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud to have 2 sons. Not just him, but 2 sons that do the exact same thing. My other son, Hunter's like, Dad, I can't go on because Austin always had my back. I said, I know.
And that's the thing with twins. Twins normally always have each other's backs. They always work with one another and help support one another and get others through. Sometimes you might have a twin that he's not as, how can I say, he's more non-confrontational, if that makes sense. Whereas the other twin, he's not going to let nobody try to punk his brother. You know what I mean? And they support, they balance each other out. That's what I'm pretty much trying to say. Twins normally balance each other out. So now that his brother's not there, it's going to be difficult for him to move forward.
And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place. So you keep an eye on me up there. Put in a good word for me. And we'll meet again.
Your faith is keeping you strong right now.
Yep. It's the only thing that's keeping me together. Otherwise, I'd be in a rubber room right now. So all I can do is pray. I don't understand it, but I have to live through it, and I have to still be here for my other son. So my journey's not done. It just took a really bad detour.
What do you mean we don't know the full story? Are you loco? Loca? Loco or loca? You know, loco for the guy, loca for the woman. What do you mean we don't know the whole story? We know the story. He was in a spot he didn't belong. He pulled out a knife and he killed somebody. That's the story. There's nothing else. Let's not make this thing complicated. You know, Carmelo is guilty. There's no other way around it. There's no reason to take out a knife and stab somebody. You know what I mean? It's not even like this dude was getting... Now think about this. This was a situation between him and the other white boy. Now, if it was a situation where, let's say he was jumped He was beat up by multiple teens. They all jumped him, and he pulled out a knife. Under circumstances like that, that would be self-defense. At the same time, they would wonder, well, why you brought a knife? So it could have been a whole different way they would have spinned it. You know? Now, we know about kids bringing guns to school and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of kids that bring white kids that bring guns to school all the time and get arrested. It happens all over. You know what I mean? They even had something recently out here with a kid that brought a gun to school. A white kid brought a gun, got arrested. You know? And basically was chasing somebody around the school with a gun. So things like this happen. It happens. White kids be bringing guns to school, shoot teachers, and all sorts of crazy stuff. It happens all the time, right? And we talk about those issues. At the same time, we got to be able to talk about the situations that affect us as a people. This is why I had to get out of the Black Hebrew Israelite cult, because when you're a part of those cults, it turns you into a racist. It turns you into a racist. Don't give me none of that junk about Ringo. You're defending white people. I defend all people because I'm not a racist. I'm not like you. If you're a racist, that's your problem. You got to deal with your own demons. I'm not a part of that club. I stand for justice for anybody, whether they're white, black, Asian, doesn't matter. If somebody commit a crime against you, your people, I'm going to stand for justice. Just that simple. And you might be a racist and not even like black people, but I'm going to still stand for justice because I'm not like you. I stand for justice. It's just that simple. You know, a kid was taken out. They could have just had a fight, you know, but he took out a knife and decided to kill him. And I'm pretty sure he did it while the kid wasn't looking. I'm sure he did, and he ran. Based on the report, he ran. So it's not self-defense. You killed him and ran. You didn't stand there and wait for the cops. You ran.
That I'll probably never get over. I'll live with it the rest of my life. And I sure as hell don't want any other parent to feel the way that I feel today. Because when I got the call, I was scared, but I was thinking, hoping like he's stabbed in the stomach. It's not going to be that big a deal, surgery, as long as he's okay. When I saw him, I knew it wasn't good. And then when his brother told me, Dad, I tried to hold the wound to the blood, but there was too much. And he died in my arms.
The father seems like a cool guy. You could tell that he's hurting. You could tell that he's sincere about what he's speaking on. He's not making up nothing. I've seen a lot of news reports. I've seen a lot of videos where people are talking in regards to lost loved ones. But this one here, you could tell that he is speaking straight from his heart in regards to his son.
It's tragic. I don't know what else to really say.
How can the community best help you right now? Help you and your family right now? Is it thoughts and prayers? Is there a GoFundMe? How can they help you?
I hadn't even thought about that. That's a good idea. GoFundMe. I'll probably have someone set that up. And, prayers, I'm heavy in faith. And, we just pray that this doesn't happen again to someone else. Unfortunately, I get to be the example. But, we have to try to turn negatives into positives. And he was a great kid, and he impacted a lot of lives. I'll never forget him, and neither will a lot of other people. So, community-wise, talk to your kids, teach your kids. It all starts at home.
It all starts at home. His grade point average have nothing to do with the actions. I think people need to stop do that. You could be book smart and be dumb at the same time. You could be book smart in the books and be dumb in the real world. There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of basketball players that are very good on the court, but when it comes to their books, they're not as good. And the coach tell them, look, if you don't get your books in order, you're not going to play any games. You're not going to play any games. I remember when I was on the baseball team and they would tell me, hey, You know, you got to get your grades. You got to do this. You got to do that. You know what I mean? You can't be lacking. You're good on the field. You're good on doing what you got to do, but you lacking in your books. You got to get those grades going. And if you don't do it, you're not going to play. And I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear I'm not going to play. I wanted to play. You know what I mean? So I had to do what I got to do so that the coach could be like, okay, you're good to go. You know, if we was on the basketball team, you had to make sure that your books was right. You might be good on the court, but if you're not good with your books, it don't make no sense. So his grades might look good on paper, but his life choices says otherwise. You can't judge a person by their grades.
I know this world has changed. I'm old school, and it's a different world. It's unfortunate, but we all have to evolve. And if we all don't come together, black, white, yellow, brown, I don't care. It's all about human beings.
At Cali is active says, white kid is an angel. We all know. So your sarcasm is not accepted. We could tell that you're a racist. We could tell that you hate white people. We get it. What's going on in your community? What the crime look like in your community? Do you care to explain that and share that with us? So we would like to know exactly what's going on in your community. Callie is active. You said the white kid is an angel. We all know. How is the crime in your community? Could you tell me how that looks? You know, you said racist white kids running up on black every day. What about the blacks in your community? What about the crime rate in your community? What about that? Callie, where you at? Do you care to answer the question, or are you just going to continue to dodge it? Are you going to continue to dodge the question? What about the crime rate in your community with blacks? Where you at, Callie? Callie, where you at, Callie?
Callie, where is Callie? What is the crime rate in your hood?
Come on, stop deflecting. What do you mean, what about it? Answer the damn question and stop playing games and moving the goalposts. What is the crime rate in your community? Amongst blacks, what is the crime rate? You know about, okay, first answer that question, and who are your ops in your community? Who are the ops? The ops is other blacks, right? Either blacks or Mexicans. Which one? Because you're in Cali, so we know about Cali, right? So which hood you rep? Which hood you rep, and what's the crime rate in the community you're in, or the ghetto? We're still waiting. It's taking you mighty long to answer the question. You see what he says? My neighborhood's got nothing to do with Texas. You see what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? How when you ask these ninjas or whatever this person represent, when you ask them a question about their community, they can't answer the question. You know why? Because it's in shambles and it's full of crime, full of violence and death. All right. Let's see what we got. Okay. Shout out to Alexandra for the support. Says wrong is wrong. Carmelo killed that boy and will be held accountable as he should. Pray for the father has peace. Pray for the father has peace in his heart and soul. Yeah, the father seems like a good guy. And I like what he said about the part where he said he lived for his sons, meaning that the only reason why he fought cancer is because he was living for his kids. And that's the exact same way I feel right now. I feel that me being alive right now is just so that I can put my kids in a particular position in life so that they can thrive. You know what I'm saying? Once I'm pretty much done and you know, they good, I'm at peace because I know I did the most that I can while I'm breathing to get them to the point where they don't have to go through all the things that I've been through. And I think that's supposed to be the goal for every parent, right? Every parent, your goal is supposed to be about taking care of your kids. That's just how it is, man. Taking care of your kids, putting them in the right lane in life so that they can thrive. That's pretty much the goal for any father, any mother. It shouldn't be about yourself. You lived your life. You had your time to party. You had your time to BS. And I'm not saying you can't do things. I'm not saying you can't take trips, enjoy yourself, and you just got to be just a loser in a corner somewhere. What I'm saying is your kids have to be your priority to the point where everything you do is to make their lives better. You know what I mean? So you got to sacrifice and go through whatever you got to go through because of them. You have to do that because they didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be here. You brought them in this world. So you got to set them up in a way where they got a head start, because most of us didn't have a head start. Most of us had to struggle in order to get where we are. And some of us are still struggling. In some cases, the struggle, it never ends. You know what I mean? But we got to do what we got to do for our kids. We just can't send them to school and just figure, okay, they're in school, they're good. No, this young man was in the school, had a good grade point average, just like the other kid, and threw his life away. So there was something lacking at home. There was something lacking at home. They did not teach this young man how to have conflict resolution skills. They did not teach him this. They didn't teach him conflict resolution skills. They didn't teach him how to de-escalate. They didn't teach him anger management. They didn't teach him these things. You know, I ain't saying that as a man, there's not a time you got to throw down, or there's not a time you got to lay down the law. What I'm saying is you got to consider the cost. You got to consider what your actions will do. You got to consider all these things. You just can't just do stuff and not expect you're not going to go to prison. You're going to go to prison, man. Especially if you're black too. Man, your odds is all against you, bro.
We got to care about each other. We got to be kind to each other. You need to show compassion, show empathy, not anger, not rage. Teach your kids the right from wrong.
Teach your kids right from wrong. Look what the father's teaching. Even in the father's sadness and broken heart, he's still dropping gems and dropping game. He don't have to even do this. He could be flipping out right now. He could be angry at the world. He could be cursing black people out right now. He could be in full rage. And guess what? He would be justified. You took his son. He have a right to be angry and bitter. And instead, he's given a good message. Somebody said, well, behind the scenes when he's not on camera, he's probably saying racist-ish. Fam, do we have to always keep going there with this nonsense, bro? Do we have to have that mentality thinking that everybody that's white is a racist? Everybody that's white is not a racist. Please stop. Like, seriously? There's a lot of white folk that are not racist. They don't even think about none of that stuff. They see everybody as human beings. They try to do their best to be civilized, decent people. But because of all the stereotypes and all of the bad apples, everybody get lumped into the same pot, and I can't stand it. It's just a sick world to be in. This world is sick, man. It's a sick place, man. Everybody hates, man. It's just all this hate everywhere, bro. Can't stand this mess. Whatever happened to enjoying a nice cookout, put something on the grill and have a beer and just tell some jokes and just have a good time? It's like everything is just evil, bro.
And pray to God this doesn't happen to yours.
Wow, that's crazy, man. There's another video clip. Let me see if I can throw it in the video. Let's see. Let me see what Callie's saying. Shout out to James for the support, sponsoring the show. Shout out to James for the 3. Let's see what Callie's saying, man. Callie says, okay, you hate yourself all over a seat. Should have let him sit down. You still didn't answer my question. You know what I'm saying, about the hood. You know what I'm saying? You ain't answer the question, dog. I don't know, bro. You said on Pyru. I don't know. You probably gang affiliated or something. I don't know. Some mess you pulling there, bro. Why is it that all? Here's the thing, gang. Why is it that black folk are all gang affiliated. Why is it that you have all the blacks, you got the Latinos, you got the Mexicans, they all in gangs? You ever wonder why? Like, why y'all all in these gangs? What the heck is going on with y'all, bro? Where is that in the Bible? Stuff is sick, bro. Like, seriously, man. Let me see if I can pull up this other video clip. I'm gonna bring up this other one. Let me see. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit the like button one time. Okay. Let's check this video clip out. This is the mom speaking on the situation. Mom Duke speaking on the situation regarding the son. Let's take a listen at this video and hear what mom got to say about the stabbing. Let's go.
Because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore. And I don't understand it.
Wow. Crazy, man. Took somebody's kid, bro.
Just tell me about what happened today.
I don't know. I got a phone call from Hunter. He was screaming that Austin had been stabbed. I was at work, and so I drove. I work in Grapevine, so I drove up to the hospital straight away. I actually beat the ambulance there. Yeah, I saw them have him come out. He was on a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed. So, not sure, senseless act of a boy that was in the wrong tent, and my son doing the right thing by telling that boy that he needed to be removed from where he was, and just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Tell me about Austin. What do you want people to know about your boy?
He was the most amazing kid. Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit. And so many kids loved him. And his brother's lost his best friend.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, identical twins. Yeah. They've been like, they are the best of friends. Like, just, I'm so worried about my son because he's gonna have to face this world alone now because he had a brother that was with him.
You know what's so funny about black folk, bro? The way they be, it's like they project and justify all of that nonsense. Somebody came in the chat, Book of Season says, KKK, Nazis, skinheads, not a gang. So basically what that person is trying to say is that, so they could be in a gang, but we can't be in a gang. See, here's the issue. Their gang is not fighting against one another, dumbass. But your gangs in the black community, Mexican community, your gangs kill one another. Y'all dumbasses. That ain't making no sense. How you in a gang and you killing your own people? Shouldn't you be protecting your community? See, that's the difference. That's the big difference that a lot of ninjas just don't want to get. You and the Crips, you and the Bloods, but y'all hate each other. And then they got all these new gangs. There's a whole bunch of new age gangs that are out right now, especially in New York. You have a bunch of gangs that these youngins are in. I don't even know the names anymore. And they all ops. If you ask them, yo, who the ops look just like them. You go to the projects, all of the shootings, all the killings, it's black on black. How you in a gang and you killing your own people? Well, he's in a gang. I don't like him. Why you don't like him? Because he's in a gang. Okay, now you're going to jail for 15 years and you're going to turn into a woman. Now what? It's crazy, man.
The whole time, and now he's gonna have to do it alone. And I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
Was Hunter with Austin today?
He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from he was trying to save his brother. But I think he said he saw when he took his last breath and before the CPR came back in. So for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little too late.
What can the community do for your family?
They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. They need to know that there's other people out there for them and not against them, you know. And Frisco Memorial has got a football program it's in a process, and we want everybody to know that it's a family and they're there together. So, but just to put your arms wrap around the support. This is Hunter. Did you want to talk to him?
Hunter.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation, and that's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother. He didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it was gonna be mine so soon. My best friend and my brother my whole life, but if y'all could just not y'all, sorry. Just thank y'all for just comforting us, and the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me, and I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family, so we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the yard work together, sports, you name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. So it's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Mm-hmm. Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
Brentley says, look how big he is. His mom is short. His mom is short. That's what it is, right? Mom is short, has nothing to do with anything. Somebody else says, I heard somewhere, you always hear. You always hear, but you don't provide the source. You mean you heard on a YouTube channel? I heard somewhere that they were saying the twins are known bullies. Have you heard that? No, I don't hear the hearsay. I only focus on the facts. That's what I'm into, the facts, not into the hearsay. Right? I don't want to hear about they were known bullies. What does that mean? They were known. So are you saying it's justified that he got killed? Is that what we should do when somebody bullies us? We should kill them? I just want to know from you personally. Is that the appropriate thing to do? From you. I need for you to answer that question, because when you say those type of things, it's almost like you're saying that, Carmelo's justified in killing him because he's a bully. So is that the method you want people to do? Because that's wrong. You don't go around getting kitchen knives and stabbing people in the heart because you feel you're being bullied. You know what I'm saying? You would go to the proper authorities. You would contact the school. You would let the teachers know. You would let the principal know. You would go to the counselors, and you would go to the proper channels to get those situations resolved. You get your parents to come up to the school and let them do all the talking. You don't pull out a knife and kill. And look at this other person. I don't know why your name is called Love. You need to change that and call it Evil. That should be your name. Some person named Love says it's called self-defense. How is it self-defense if you threaten someone and says, if you touch me, see what happens, and you bring a knife to an event? How is that self-defense? That's not self-defense. You provoked a fight, and then you killed somebody. You didn't stab somebody in their leg, in their arm. You stabbed them in their heart. You wanted them dead. So the way I see this, Carmelo wanted this young man dead. He wanted to kill him. And that's the problem, and why you got to be careful when you're around ninjas. It's because ninjas don't even know what self-defense mean. Ninjas don't even know the law. If you ask ninjas that are watching this show right now, what are the laws that govern self-defense? What are the laws that govern standing your ground as a homeowner who can bear arms? They don't even know the law. They think because they have a gun, they could just do whatever they want to do. No, you can't. There are laws to follow. There are certain circumstances that would justify you taking action. And if you take action and the circumstances are not there, you will go to prison with your gun. With your amendment right, you will go to prison because you thought that because you have rights that you could just do whatever you want. No, you can't. I can't walk out the house with a gun, go to a neighbor that I don't like, point the gun at him and make threats. No, the police will be knocking my door. The police will be knocking my door and I will be in handcuffs. You know, it's just that simple. You can't do that. He went there with a knife. So his intent was to use that knife. There's no other way around it. Why you had the knife on you? That's not self-defense. You brought that knife there because you was expecting drama. Matter of fact, I would go as far to he went and sat there because he wanted drama. He sat there because he wanted some smoke. He wasn't thinking. Y'all saying he's a smart kid? No, he wasn't smart. This dude is not smart at all, man. He's a damn demon. And he did what he did out of jealousy and hate. Just that simple. Just like we love to say that when a white person kill a black person, they did it out of hate. It was a hate crime. Okay, so what he did to that white boy was a hate crime. It was all out of rage and jealousy. How does that feel? You mad now? Are you mad? Because when they do it, you cry and you say, oh, they hate black people and it's racist. Okay, so now the black guy did it now. So now what we call this? Love triangle? No, it's hate. He killed him out of jealousy, rage, because he felt he was entitled to sit somewhere and he did not want to move. And he made threats, terroristic threats, and he pulled out a knife and he plunged it in this young man's heart. You know, the one who started it was the black kid. He's the one who started it. Based on all the reports, all the information, the black kid was the one that was the aggressor. He was the one making all the threats. You know what I mean? Nobody put no hands on him. They tried to spin this as if though, oh, the white boys were bullies and the white boy put a hand on him. No, he threatened them. He was the one mouthing off. You know, he was the one mouthing off.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So yeah. That's just what I saw. And I tried to help him.
I told you that when he stabbed the kid, it was out of the blue. Meaning he just got a hold of the knife, did what he did. Nobody was expecting that. You see what I mean? So he did it without nobody really seeing what's going on.
But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So yeah. That's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid. Mm-hmm. He was strong, and I know I'm strong too, but he's a little stronger. But he did a lot for our family and a bunch of stuff that we just don't recognize. And it's just like, especially throughout our friends too, like everyone knew, like he was the peacemaker. That's what I'm saying. Like, I heard someone who really makes peace, really calms peace down. He makes everything sail smoothly. Because I get upset, but then he calms me down. He was just always there for me. So it's just really heartbreaking to see like how this happened.
Oh my goodness. And you guys are how old are you?
17.
17.
Yeah, they'll be 18 in July.
How is it self-defense if somebody is having an argument with you? Is everybody crazy? Do y'all even know what self-defense means? So if I'm having an argument with someone, I have a right to kill them because I just don't like the argument. I'm defending my life. My life was in danger, so I had to take out my knife and stab them in the heart because they were trying to kill me. Again, black folk don't know what self-defense means. They just say stuff just to say it because it sounds interesting, but they really don't know what they're talking about when they say these things.
A lot of articles say you guys were 16. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they're 17.
Fam, let me tell you something, man. Even though I understand a lot, I actually have conversations with officers about these topics, believe it or not. And that's what's so great about North Carolina. It's totally different than New York. In New York, when you're talking to law enforcement, it's kind of like, it's weird. In North Carolina, you can actually have conversations with law enforcement, and they'll have a conversation with you. You know what I mean? They're pretty stand-up, decent officers. I cannot lie. I mean, I spoke to several officers already, and they seem to be stand-up guys that just do their job. They're fair, they're balanced, and it is what it is, man. So, you know, these conversations, you really have to know the law. You have to know what's going on and what are your rights and what you can or can't do. You got to know these things, man, you know, because they're painting this situation in multiple ways, saying these men were bullies and blah, 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 and self-defense. And listen, we all been to school. We all dealt with bullies. We all did this. We all had fights. But I don't recall ever coming to school with a knife because I'm trying to stab another student. That never crossed my mind. I enjoyed beating somebody up in front of other students just so that they could know not to F around. That's what it was all about. I couldn't wait to put hands on you just to let the other students know not to play around with me. You understand? It was a great sight. It was a moment of reckoning when you can go to school, have an issue, and then, you know, either we go into the gym and we have a fight, and it was just done right after that. After that, it was the talk of the town. You know what I mean? But to come to school with a weapon, a gun, a knife, and I'm plotting on how I'm going to take you out. Nah, you a murderer at heart, man. It wasn't no argument. This is an ongoing thing. This was some sort of issue that they had, man. You know? This was an issue that was going down, and he decided that he was going to kill that other kid. Just like in the black community, when black kids get killed by other black kids, it's all out of jealousy. They're jealous of one. They're jealous of other people. So they want to take you out because they feel better if they could kill you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Austin wanted to play football.
He would have played college football.
He would have.
He,
for sure.
He definitely used his mindset, his skill level, his IQ at the game was probably the best I've seen in the Frisco area.
Yeah. As
a linebacker, he was a stud, and I always try to fill those shoes with him and play with him.
Nobody's going to make me lose my freedom. That's how I see it. Ain't nobody going to make me lose my freedom. I'll make you lose yours before you make me lose mine. I will make sure that I got everything needed to make you lose your freedom before you make me lose mine. I'm not going to make you make me throw my life away. Nah. And I'm in a cell for the rest of my life. Nah, it's not happening.
I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him my whole life. It was just me and him always against people. And last year. The other was this year. So it's just really.
Soldier Girl says, I am sorry, Ringo, but this time the bully didn't get away. I mean, are y'all listening to how black folk think? What in the world are you talking about? So you're happy that the white guy is dead. Are y'all seeing how black people are? I mean, the things that y'all post is so racist. It's unbelievable. You literally post, I am sorry, Ringo, but this time the bully didn't get away. So in your mind, that's how you feel? So you are okay. You're okay with the young white boy dying. Because in your mind, you believe he's a bully with no information, no facts. You just automatically believe that because he's white. You automatically believe the white guy is a bully because he's white. It never crossed your mind that maybe the black kid is the bully. It never crossed your mind that the black kid is the bully. Never crossed your mind. Where do you get that mindset that the white boy is a bully? Who programmed you? Because I don't got no information that he's a bully. I'm not at the school. I don't follow these kids. I don't know what they're doing. You're justifying his death by assuming that the white kid is a bully. This is sick, bro. Absolutely sick. Absolutely sick. And this is how black people think, guys.
Heartbreaking not to see him next year on the field.
I'm so sorry, my love. Oh my goodness. I saw that he won like linebacker of the year.
For the Frisco Memorial, he was
second team all district, which he
second
should
team
have been
all-district.
first.
Yeah.
But it's just everyone knows around this area the impacts of what he does for football and what he does for families and friends. Like, he's just a great guy overall to be around. And
Book of Sessions says, keep your hands to yourself. How about not making threats? The black kid made a threat. Did you forget that part, or are we just going to ignore it? You're saying keep your hands to yourself. The black kid is the one who made the threats. The black kid was the one verbally speaking at the dude. You know? No, hustler, you're the one that's bugging. See, you ninjas are some savages, bro. Y'all are the main problem. You're talking all this ish in this live chat. But how many black people died in your community and you didn't say one motherfucking word? Hypocrites. This is the problem with you ninjas, is that whenever it is a crime dealing with white on black, black on white, whatever the case is, y'all always there talking ish. But in the ghetto slums, in the black communities, in the projects, in all of these crazy places, in the hood, when black people die every day at the hands of other black people, you're never there to speak. You never talk about it. You don't even care. But all of a sudden, I'm bugging. Because in your mind, you want me to side with the black ninja who is out there committing crimes, being a savage. No, I'm not with him. I'm not supporting him. He's a damn demon. He went there with the intention to kill. He could have just had a fight with the dude and walk away. But no, he pulled out a knife to kill. So he already out of pocket. But you ninjas are justifying death and murder. That's the problem with the black community. That's why the black community is not safe. It is not safe to live in the black community. I don't know how you sisters are able to survive in the black community. I really don't know how you're able to survive and go to work and come home and you're around a bunch of ninjas that believe it's okay to kill one another. I don't know how you see any value in any of these black men in the black community when all they think about is killing one another. They're not men. Men are supposed to be leading the black community. Men. But if you look at how a lot of these ninjas are in my comments, look at all the people I had to block. All ninjas, all men. And they're supposed to be the ones leading. And they don't even know how to lead. And that's sick, man. Absolutely sick. You don't bring a knife to a school. You don't. There's no reason for it. He packed it in his bag for a reason. But nobody from the black community want to talk about it. We just want to ignore the facts. Look at how many times I said this. I don't see nobody talking about that. About you, right? Why he brought the knife. Why he brought the knife. He brought the knife to kill. You know? That's what he brought the knife for. He brought the knife to kill people. And that's the sad part. Let me see. If he had never said anything to Anthony, it wouldn't have happened. So now you're calling me crazy. Well, you know what that means, right? Once you call me crazy and you start with the name calling, we pack you up. You got to go. We don't got time. I don't got time for you racists, bro. Like, a lot of you black folks are just racist, bro. Literally, you saying if he had never said anything to Anthony, it, would have never happened. Like, this is just crazy, bro. If he would have never said nothing to Anthony. It's just so sad how black folk take no accountability for when black folk commit crime and murder. But if it was the other way around, y'all calling Al Sharpton and all these other hypocrites. Y'all calling all these other hypocrites that really don't got no love for the black community. They're just lining their pockets, right? This is sick. There's no accountability in the black community. I have not seen anybody really going against what Carmelo did. It's like you guys are literally fighting for a murderer. Fighting for a murderer. You're fighting to release a murderer. Wow.
Hard worker.
Extremely. It's just really hard. It's just really hard to see someone go like that just for like recklessness.
Mm-hmm. My focus of my story is, of course, on Austin. That is what's most important. But what would you say about the suspect and what's next?
We don't know anything about him. We have nothing to say.
I've never met this kid.
At Baba, Rashawn, whatever. I got a video coming up with you and New Breed that the FBA community going to wonderfully love to see. Because you, sir, are a racist. You are a racist. You said the white man is the most racist person on the planet. What is you talking about? No, you're the racist. Remember that video that you made about me? Accusing me of being a tether? Oh, yeah. Remember all the evil things you said about FBA? Oh, I got all your videos downloaded. We're going to be doing a video about you soon. You and New Breed. Oh, yeah, that's right. We got you on our radar. Don't think I forgot. You're the racist. And see, it's you old timers that are the reason why a lot of these youngins today are racist. Is because rather than you, as an elder, set order in the black community so that these young men are able to be reasonable adults, instead you promote racism and hate because of your hatred for white people. See, you're at the age where you still got a bunch of hate in your heart. You're at that age where you hate white people. There's no saving you. You know what I mean? Respectfully speaking, there's no saving you boomers. You're pretty much done. You're the reason why the youth in the black community are destroyed. It's because you hate people. And you think because you're old that we're supposed to respect you because of your age. No, you're out of pocket, sir. You're out of pocket. And you're the reason why the youth are effed up today. It's because you have a job to do and you failed. You failed your generation, sir. And your age don't give you no value in today's day to speak on these issues. Your time is done. It's a whole new day now. So we're going to be doing a video about you, sir. And we're going to talk about what you had to say about FBA. We're going to talk about what you had to say. And we're going to make the FBA community learn about you. So when you talk about tether this, tether that, and talking all this nonsense, we're going to bring up all the dirt that you done. So the truth of the matter is, you are the racist. Because when you're ready, you hate black people just like you hate me when I spoke truth. So I don't want to hear a damn thing what you want to say about white people when you're a racist to black people. And we're going to pack your ass up. You're now blocked from the platform. Bye. You're a damn hypocrite. We don't got no time for that nonsense. That old timer made so many videos disrespecting the FBA community, disrespecting Tariq Nasheed, and I don't even rock with none of them people. But I'm just trying to show you that dude is a hypocrite. He's an old timer and a hypocrite and a double-tongued serpent. And he over here have the nerve to talk about white people being racist when he's a damn racist himself. He's a hater of not only white people, but he's a hater of black people too. And he jump on whatever bandwagon is convenient for him. You got to look at the videos and know who you're dealing with. You know what I mean? All of a sudden now he started to claim FBA, but he was hating on FBA. Double-tongued serpents, man. Have the nerve to talk about white people this and white people that. You're promoting nothing but hate. What have you done for the black community, sir? What have you done to help these young brothers become decent men? All you do is promote racism. Y'all ain't getting no damn reparations. Always want to talk about slavery this, slavery that. Grow up. Your time is over, dog. You're done. Nobody don't want to hear none of that garbage no more. We listened to you guys long enough, and you haven't done a damn thing when it comes to the work for the black community. All you do is sit there and dwell on your age and think that because of your age that somehow makes you an authority when it comes to this truth. No, it don't. You failed the black community. You failed the youth, and you failed all your grandsons, and you failed all your sons. Coming in here talking all this garbage. And I showed that old man nothing but respect. I showed that old man nothing but reverence and goodwill. And he had the audacity to disrespect me in a video. He had the audacity to talk all this evil against me after all the respect I done shared with him in the community. You a damn demon, and you a damn hypocrite because you're the one who is a racist. And you've been a racist for a long time. And you hide behind all these movements in order to hide your racism. But we know who you are. And all of you young brothers shouldn't be following that guy. Because if you do, you're going to end up a racist just like him. You know what I mean? He's old, bitter, and washed up. And he's mad at the world because he never was able to see any reparations. So he's going to hide behind a lot of movements. And because of his age, he's going to gain respect from the young crowd. I'm here to tell the truth. You are the racist, sir. You're supposed to be teaching these young men to have respect for all people. You don't come into a live chat saying, oh, white people are that. You don't know all white people. You're a damn racist. You're full of hate. There is no love in your heart, and you don't serve God. So every time you start a video talking about shalom, salam alaikum, this and that, it's all a damn lie. You don't love nobody. It's crazy. I told y'all I hold everybody accountable. Nobody's safe.
Right then, it really was under 30 seconds, this altercation. I've never met this kid in my entire life. And it's just...
And to be honest with you, we don't want to give him any recognition or any care, because that's not we have no desire to have anything to do with that man. So.
If Austin can hear you, what would you say to him?
I'd say, that's really hard, but I'd say a lot of things because I saw him before his last moments, and it was just...
How much we loved him. He knew that.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him.
Let me see. Double Edge says Ringo knows who he will or won't talk about. He ain't stupid. You said Ringo teaching it's okay. Let me just pack you up. You're a damn troll, a demon, a devil. We don't got time. Let's get back to the content. Let's go.
Anything. I do anything for him.
Yeah.
No matter what. He's called me anything that he needs, I'll do it for him. He's just a great guy. So when you have a great guy, you want people to be around you. They're going to be around you no matter what. Like he's a great leader. That's why I always want to tell him, like, I always wanted to be like him in that sense. It's like how he just communicates and has great ways with people all the time. And
This is why the black community cannot grow, because we have too many black folk that are suffering from internalized racism. Basically, what internalized racism does, it causes black people to unite with one another anytime there's a white person that does something to black people, right? But when black people are trying to work with one another, we normally hate each other. You see how that goes? We have selective outrage. We act emotional, you know? We're just a bunch of damn hypocrites. That's why we can't build, and we're never going to work together. There will never be a time in this life where black people work with one another and build with one another. We're never going to do that. That's a fact, because we hate each other and we're hypocrites and we have selective outrage. And the only time we act like we're joining together is when we see cases like this. That is when black people begin to join together and support murderers, just like they did with Jesus. Remember the situation with Christ where they asked, who should we let out of the prison? Jesus or Barabbas? Who did they choose? Barabbas, a murderer. They chose to let a murderer out. Rather than letting the Messiah out, they chose to let a murderer out the prison. Why? Because they love criminals. They love criminals. They rather the Messiah stay in prison. They let Barabbas, a murderer, a killer, they let him out the prison. Our people did that. Let's go.
I always looked up to him for like that. He was a big brother in a sense. He was the same age, but he was a big brother than me.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows how much that Austin is going to be still in our lives, as far as in our memories and our hearts forever. You know, he's.
All of my enemies are black. All of them. All of my enemies, especially on social media, they're all black. So I want to know, where is the black community when they all hate me? I want to know. How is it that the white man is the enemy when all the black people hate me and I'm black? See, what black people hate is the truth. They don't like when you hold that mirror up and show them what's wrong with them. They want to know what's wrong with everybody else, but they don't want to know what's wrong with their communities. Why are black people on the bottom? Because they don't want to fix their own problems. They're waiting for white people to do it. White man ain't going to fix your problems. It is not the white man's responsibility to come in and fix our problems. I don't look for white people to fix nothing for me. Listen, in the community I'm at, I don't look for the white man to come to mow my lawn. I don't look for the white man to come in to diagnose any problems I got. I deal with my own problems, my own issues. I'm not perfect when it comes to lawn care. At the same time, I make mistakes. I make mistakes that, affect lawn and do this and that. But I don't look for the white man to fix none of my problems. I don't look for the white man to solve problems going on in my home. I don't ask the white man, can he fix the black community? It's not his job to do that. It's the black man's job to do that. I don't know why we be putting all of this weight on white people that they got to help us fix our problems. No, we got to fix our problems. We're hateful. We're very wicked and evil, and we don't like to hear the truth. The only thing we would like to do is dwell on slavery and talk about how our ancestors struggle. I'm tired of hearing that BS. I'm tired. Your ancestors struggle because they did not want to obey God. Your ancestors struggle because they were in sin. And the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob put them in chains. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob said in the Bible that he's going to bring a nation from far of a tongue they don't understand, and they're going to put you in slavery, and you're going to be sold as bondmen and bondwomen. That's what the Bible says. God did that, not the white man. We sitting around blaming the white man. It's not the white man's fault that your ass was put in slavery. It was your fault, not the white man's fault. He was used by God as a belt to whoop our ASS into shape. And because of that, it was because we weren't following the laws, statutes, and commandments of God. And so what do? We hold on our so-called history of slavery. That's the only thing the black man know how to do, is dwell on slavery all day. We're the only group that always want to dwell on slavery. Oh, you know, we were enslaved and we were on ships and we were on cotton fields. Well, you're not on the cotton field no more. And you're still in the ghettos. You're still dumbed down, blind, and docile. Still sitting there struggling, still mad at the world, still don't want to do any business, still want to go in and out of prison, still committing crimes, and you're not even on the damn cotton field. You're not on a plantation anymore, and you're still a degenerate bum. You don't got no damn excuse. I am tired of us talking about slavery, always talking about the white man, always blaming and making excuses, and we don't want to work towards building nothing. All we doing is complaining all day, complaining. You don't think the white man is tired of us complaining? Tired of us. They tired of us complaining. They tired of us having programs and stuff that is allowing us to advance without no hard work. No, every man is supposed to advance based on his work ethic. Every man. You should not be getting no free passes at education or job opportunities. You're supposed to work and be qualified. That's why they get upset. Because they got to work to get where they at, but you get a free ride? No. It shouldn't be that way. You're supposed to work and build your own ish and stop dwelling on everybody else's and blaming everybody else for your problems. I'm tired of that mess. I'm tired of it, man. It's sick.
It's going to be really hard. This is going to be really hard.
I can see how much you guys love and adore him.
Yeah, I'm really trying not to cry, but it's a...
Mr. Baby.
Yeah. He was my big baby. He was 225 pounds. Both of them big boys, and I loved movie time with them. They would ask me if we'd watch a movie and sit on the couch, and he'd put
The community knew the Messiah was blameless. What are you talking about, the Romans? Listen, the community knew the Messiah was blameless. It was a fame in the community. Everybody knew that the Messiah was doing miracles. Everybody in the community knew that he was the Son of God. The word was already spread all around. Everybody knew that he was a prophet. Everybody knew. There was fame all around. They knew the disciples. They knew who he was. They knew he stand for peace. And guess what they did? They released Barabbas and left the Messiah in prison. Come on. That goes to show how wicked our people are. And we do the same thing today. We want this young man to be out of prison, the black guy, even though he murdered the white boy in cold blood. We want him to be free. That's sick. And you're mad at me. You're mad at me because I stand on the truth. And if you notice, all these demons, they watch me, just like that old timer. You notice he was watching in the clouds the whole time. You know why? Watching so that he can go do a video. Oh, you could go do a video, sir, because we got a wonderful video coming of you. Oh, yeah, I ain't forget. I have that video sitting on ice right now. It's going to be released soon. Oh, yeah, because your man New Breed was bigging you up. But he didn't know that you hate FBA. And FBA didn't even know that old timer hate FBA and want to tag along. He's the damn tether. You know what I mean? That's why as a black man, black woman, you don't supposed to join no religion. Don't join no Hebrew Israelites. Don't join no Christianity. Don't join no FBA. Don't join anything. Don't call yourself none of these groups. Just focus on your life, be a decent human being, and stay out of the way. Because once you join these cults and these religions, you're going to become a racist just like them, a hate group just like them. In the FBA community, if you don't follow their community and their way, they call you a tether. They call you an immigrant. That's what they do to you. They'll scold you, ostracize you, and cast you out. Even if you're a black man or a black woman, they don't care. They hate their own people. All hate. You know what I mean? Why would you want to be a part of that? And that old guy disrespected that community. But they believe that the old guy is a part of FBA, but they don't know about the tapes. But I got them. Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Head on my lap, and I'd scratch his back, and he was just, I don't know. He'd tell me things. He was so personable with me, and, you know, I knew stuff that most teenagers wouldn't tell their moms, that just things that because we were close, you know, and now it's going to be us wrangling the future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right? Did you hold him the whole time?
I did, and they yanked me off him.
Yeah, they had to leave. He had to be removed when they did CPR. And then he wasn't able to be in the ambulance with him on the way to the hospital.
So it was just like heart throbbing the whole time, the whole ride on the hospital.
How did you get to the hospital?
My dad came. I called my mom. My mom didn't know. She didn't answer. She was at work, and then she answered my phone. And I told her what happened. She came in right away, and then we drove to the hospital. We're trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, it was hard. That was tough because I beat the ambulance there. I don't even know how that's possible, but I did because I came in from Grapevine.
It's crazy, man. But let's get out of here with that. Let me take that off the screen. So, yeah, if you're now joining in, guys, we've been talking about a lot concerning this situation because on social media, there seems to be a lot of support for the black kid. And basically what they're doing is they're raising money. They raised a heck of a lot of money. It's so funny. Y'all raise money for Karmelo, right? And again, I don't support the Stephen Twitch boss GoFundMe. I don't support that because his family is just trying to get paid. They're not really fighting for his justice. At the same time, Stephen Twitch boss didn't murder nobody. He was murdered. And his family couldn't even raise the money they wanted. But yet this kid murdered another kid and y'all gave him $250,000. That quick. Y'all some sick people, fam. There's no way I can tell you, man. There's no other way around it. Anybody that donated to this, you're sick. You're a sick individual. You support murder. And you're justifying it because the kid is white. And you figure because he's white that it was okay for the black kid to do. That's sick. Because when black people kill black people, y'all don't support like this. It's like you're supporting him. It's like you're paying him for killing a white kid. That's what you're doing. Because when black people kill black people in the black community, y'all don't support like this. Y'all don't even give no money to nobody. But because it's a white kid that died, it's almost like you're rewarding the black boy by saying, yes, good job. You're encouraging this type of behavior. I don't support that. I do not support this mess. Their goal is $300,000, and y'all already gave them $234,789. Absolutely wicked, bro. And again, let me read that caption again for those of you that are now joining in. This is the official support fund for Carmelo and his family during this challenging and difficult time. The narrative being spread is false, unjust, and harmful. As a family of faith, we are deeply grateful for all your support during this trying period. Your prayers and assistance mean more to us now more than ever. They said that they're a family of faith. If they're a family of faith, what happened to thou shalt not kill? What happened to that? What happened to love thy enemy as thyself? What happened to do good to others? Do good to others as you would want to be done unto you. What happened to all of that? See, people love to talk about they're a family of faith, but they don't practice the faith. And that's the problem with black folk. They say that they are Christians. They say that they are Hebrew Israelites. They say that they are believers, but they don't believe. They don't believe in God. They don't follow God. They don't keep his word. You know, they're wicked at heart. This young man did not follow the Bible. He pulled out a knife. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Haven't he learned from the Messiah? Haven't he learned when the disciple pulled out a knife and cut off the man's ear? He said, put that knife away. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Well, why did Carmelo pull out the sword? Because he don't care about no faith. His life wasn't in danger. His life was not in danger, y'all. This is not self-defense. His life was not in danger. He was not gonna die. Nobody had a gun. Nobody had a knife. It wasn't a knife-on-knife fight. Nobody pulled out a weapon. So why would he pull out a knife? Oh my goodness, bro. I can't believe people are actually defending this guy. How? and he just threw his life away. And he probably had a great career opportunity set up for him. He probably was on the right path. He probably was in school doing what he had to do, and he threw it away. He's not smart because of rage and anger. He probably was a part of a gang. He probably was hanging out with the wrong people and tried to, I guess, have them respect him in some way. Something along those lines. Probably wanted some respect. I don't know. It's crazy, man. But anyway, y'all, we're going to get up on out of here, man. It's just really crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy how this story works, bro. How this man can do this and black people are supporting him. They're supporting the fact that this young man murdered someone, and they're acting as if though it's a good thing. And they paid him over $250,000. Even though he's guilty, even though he brought a knife, even though his intent was to kill. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy, man. It's really, really sick, man. See, on this platform, we're fair and balanced. We're not a racist platform. Other platforms, they're racist, especially a lot of the black channels. You might even have white channels that are racist. It is what it is. I can't speak for them. I can only speak for me. I can only clean up my yard and focus on my character as a man and the kind of content that I put out. All I can do is speak for me. Over here, we're fair and balanced. We speak on the truth. We don't sugarcoat. We don't do none of that. If you're wrong, and we're going to bring it out. But it doesn't matter if you're black, white, doesn't matter. We're going to hold you accountable. We're going to do the news reporting. I'm going to be as fair and balanced as possible because all lives matter. All lives. You know what I mean? I'm not with all of this racist-ish. I don't care if there's racism in the world. I don't care who's a racist. I'm going to do good to others. I'm going to do good no matter what. I'm going to do good. I'm going to treat everybody with respect. That's how I move. And I will defend my family against any enemy, foreign and domestic. Doesn't matter who you are. I will defend my house. I'm not no punk. At the same time, I'm going to treat everybody with respect, no matter what your ethnic group is. Because as a believer in Christ, my job is not to look down on anybody. A family is mourning the loss of their child and loved one. And another family is going to be mourning the loss of this black kid because he's going to spend years in prison. Because all this does, it creates race wars where now somebody want to get some get back. Because there's always somebody out there that's going to be like, look, something got to give for this. Right is right and wrong is wrong. He murdered this kid. I don't want to hear none of this racist-ish. We got to stop with that racist mindset. That's why I left the black Hebrew Israelites, because they're racist. All of them. All of them. I said it. All of them are racist. They hate white people. It's a hate group, and all they do is promote hate. They don't promote no love. All they love is their bloodline. They don't love nobody. They hate everybody. If you're not black, they hate you. And in the FBA community, they hate anybody that don't ride with FBA. They hate you too. They'll call you a tether. So it's hate on all sides. I don't want no dealings with none of these groups. I just roll solo and that's it, and rep the Most High to the best of my abilities. I don't got no time for all of this mess. Look at his Israelite says, so is Christianity. They hate too. Maybe you're not listening to me. I said all of them groups. How many times have I mentioned Christianity? How many times have I mentioned the Hebrew Israelite religion? Because it is a religion. You folks, your religion is your bloodline. That's all you care about, is your bloodline. Your bloodline ain't going to save you. Your bloodline ain't going to make you make it to the kingdom. Nowhere in the Bible did it say your bloodline is what saved you. No, you got to repent of your sins. You got to repent and be ye holy. That's what you got to do. And that goes for anybody. Anybody could be saved. Who the F are you to tell a white man or Asian man that he ain't ish and he can't make it to the kingdom? You got these Hebrew Israelites walking around talking about, oh, the white man is going into slavery. He's going to be enslaved. They're going to be our slaves. I'm like, man, you have some nerve. You here talking about they going in slavery, but yet you in captivity in their country under their rulership. You sound crazy. You don't got no power and you acting tough. No military, but acting tough. If there was a war right now, you would be wiped off this planet. Let me tell you something, man. If the white man and his military and all of them wanted to wipe you off the face of the earth, they could do that today. And there is not a damn thing you could do about it. You know why? Because you don't got no military. The only reason why you alive right now is because of God Almighty. You know? See the hate? You see the hate from the Hebrew Israelite in the comment? Says this is their continent. It's God. You see? That's the little hate from the Hebrew Israelite community. You should see these Hebrew Israelites on the corner going crazy, calling white men the devil, disrespecting black women. Man, I don't want no parts of that mess. Done with all of that. You know? I don't want no parts of that. No parts of no religion. All religions are false. All religion does is create war. War and violence. That's it. War and violence. Talking about this kid came from a family of faith. That kid family came from a family of faith. Look at his pops. His pops said that he believed in God. His pops clearly is a man of faith. You know? So what about that? Everybody claimed to be a family of faith, but yet we all killing one another. So obviously somebody's not following the faith. How could we all be families of faith and we all killing one another too? Which one is it? It's not making sense, man. It's not making sense. People hide behind religion. They're not real. They hide behind religion. And they do their evil. No one in the black community should be supporting this. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself for supporting this mess. There's so many other black businesses y'all could be supporting, but y'all don't support them. Heck, most people don't even support my work. And I'm working right now. I'm working and I've been on here now for almost 3 hours putting in work and providing real commentary about this situation. Where's all the black people to support that? Where is it? Where their support? They don't support a damn thing. You support criminals. This kid got paid $234,000 and didn't work. He killed and he earned money. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. He murdered a man and got rewarded for it. It's crazy, man. It's sad, bro. Absolutely sad. But anyway, we're going to get up on out of here, man. I'm going to have more talks on this, more videos on the content. We'll be back later on with more. Y'all be safe out there. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat. Everybody in the building, everybody that rock with the black platform, be sure to click that like button one time. Let's get these likes up on the show. Share the videos because this is the type of commentary that a lot of black people don't like. You know what I mean? And again, you're going to have a lot of clickbait channels, whether they're white or black, and they're going to focus on creating a race war in terms of just making you pick a side. As a human being, you have to look at things logically. This is not about white or black. This is about right and wrong. This is about a young kid that took a knife to an event and he killed another kid because of anger. You understand? And he ran like a coward. He didn't stand there and wait for the police to say, hey, I was, justified because of, self-defense, No, he ran like a coward. You see? He ran like a coward. And now his family, rather than his family throw the book at him, no, they're trying to defend him, talking about the narrative that's being spinned about their son and whatnot is wrong and hurtful. And, man, I don't want to hear nothing. He took a life. He took a life. All the ridicule and all of the criticism he's getting is justified. Another kid is dead and the family is mourning. So condolences to that family for the loss of their nephew, their son. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. It's just a sad situation, man. A sad situation how when other families lose loved ones, we don't have no empathy or care for them. We don't care about their death and the fact that they're mourning. And this is what black people do in the black community. We don't care. We just grow numb. But yet when one of us die at the hands of somebody that's white, we want them to care. We say, oh, they're not showing no emotion. They're not showing no remorse. But yet you're not showing no remorse. I've been in comment sections where black people were celebrating this kid's death. They were celebrating, man. That's sick. How could you sit there celebrating this evil? Wow. Anyway, y'all stay safe. Peace and blessings. Shout out to Soldier Girl for the $5 support. Says thank you, Ringo. Yeah. Because when the situation happened, like you said, somebody could have stepped in, somebody could have intervened. I don't know. Again, maybe they might have camera footage they may show in court. I don't know if they have cameras that can see that far into that area, but there probably might be security cameras that can see what took place. They probably got footage. That's how they know what happened. They got to have aerial cameras or cameras that in the top in the light somewhere, because they got to monitor, what's going on, But it is what it is, man. Yeah, I heard of that YouTuber. He's always talking about sundown towns. He's always talking about what white people are doing. What about him? What exactly is it? Did he make a video talking about me? Because they normally do. People going to always talk about you when they want to rile up the audience so that they can hate you. Because that's what a lot of these content creators do. They focus on promoting division and hate. And they do it in a very subtle way, as if though they care about stories. But really, it's not about stories. It's about promoting hate, because what they want you to do is hate white people. So this is what I mean. When you look at content, let's say a content creator only focused on black people that died at the hands of white people. When you see content and they always post about white people that die, black people that die at the hands of white people, it's a hate channel. They're promoting hate because they want you to hate white people. It has to be balanced. When you do content, it's supposed to be balanced. You can't be on either side. It's either you have to focus on the truth. You got to focus on the truth, because there have been a lot of stories that came out where black people were saying white people killed somebody. And then it turned out it wasn't a white person that killed them. It was another black person that killed them. And those content creators look crazy because they were lying to the people, and they made the people believe it was white people that did the crime. And it wasn't. It was another ninja. It was another ninja, man. There was a recent story that came out where you had a woman, right? She was missing for a long time, and everybody was saying how white people abducted her and killed her and blah, blah, blah. And it come to find out she's under some sort of mental condition, and they recently found her. No white person did anything to her, but YouTubers were going around saying how the woman was abducted, she was murdered, they probably took her organs, all this other junk, and none of that happened. It was a damn lie. In order to make black people hate other groups. That's what they do. That's why I had to separate myself, because the Most High had to deal with me. I had to deal with, listen, when I talk about internalized racism, ladies and gentlemen, I had to deal with my own internalized racism. I'm transparent with you people, fam. I don't know why I don't get that love and that support that I deserve. I'm 100% transparent. Listen, when I talk about internalized racism, I had to deal with my own. That's why I had to rid myself from the Black Hebrew Israelite religion, because they teach hate. They teach racism. That's what they teach. They don't teach you to love everybody. They teach you to only focus on black people. And they say that the white man is the devil. And I had to get out of that. I had to get out of that, man, because it was just making me become a horrible person. Now, in your eyes, when you see me, everything looks good. But in my own vision, in my own world, I know how I am. And I would look at how I conduct myself when I'm interacting with people. And I'm like, wait a minute, why am I treating this person like this? Why am I looking at this African like that? Why am I looking at this white man like this? Why do I have these thoughts? It's because I was in a religion, in a group, in a cult, in a following, in a belief system that subconsciously promote racism and hate. And if you're not careful, it rubs off on you. It rubs off on you. Just like if you're a brother or sister and you're following FBA and you see these guys on YouTube and they always calling somebody a tether. That's hate against their own people. That's hate. That's internalized racism. The hate you see in the black community where we don't support one another. That's internalized racism. So I had to rid myself from internalized racism. I had to check my own temperature to make sure I don't got none of those symptoms. You see what I mean? So you got to do the same. You got to look at yourself and you got to be like, wait a minute. I got to look at myself and see, am I suffering from any internalized racism? Am I suffering from any sort of hate? I got to see what's going on with me and find out and rid yourself of all that evil. You got to do that for yourself. That's how you're going to be able to overcome the devil, because he's going to pull you in one of these religions. He's going to use the Bible. He's going to use fringes. He's going to use shalom, shalom. And a lot of those folks are evil, bro. They're very hateful. There's a lot of discrimination, a lot of division amongst our people. We hate one another. We don't love each other. It's sad, but it's true. You got to own it. You got to listen to the truth. People hate me because I speak the truth. I've been here 3 hours talking. 3 hours. This video should have 100,000 views. It only have 3,000. You know why? Nobody likes the truth. People love entertainment. If it's not entertainment, nobody cares. Black people love being entertained. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear about you need to repent. They don't want to hear about their sins. They want to hear entertainment. That's why I don't get the support that I deserve. You know, it's because I speak the truth. When you speak the truth, you're supposed to be hated amongst men. They're going to hate me. They're going to make a video. They're going to say this. They're going to say all sorts of evil against me. Why? Because I speak the truth. And I'm fair and I'm balanced. And because I'm not showing hatred towards white people, black people will hate me for it. That's how it goes. They're going to say you're a sellout because I'm defending the truth. Because I'm not siding with this damn animal that decided to become a savage and kill, they're going to hate me for it. That's okay. I don't mind being hated for that. God will take care of me. You know, the people that rock with me, they already support. They good. They recognize my value. You know, it is what it is, man. So at the end of the day, we're going to keep doing this truth. We're going to keep putting out this knowledge and wake the people up, you know? So y'all be safe out there. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat. Salute to everybody that support the show. You know what I mean? If you support it via the Cash App, I'll shout you out in the next stream. It is what it is, man. So y'all stay safe. Y'all have a blessed day. All you folks that are out on the road driving, y'all drive safe. Follow all traffic laws. Follow the rules. Don't be aggressive. Shout out to all the truckers on the road, all the law enforcement, fire department, everybody out in the retail stores, fashion, in the salons, the barbershops, the motels, the airlines, you know. Shout out to all the Amazon workers, UPS, FedEx, DHL, United States Parcel Service, Uber Eats, Lyft drivers, everybody out there on the hustle and bustle, the security guards, the parking lot guys. Shout out to everybody on the 9-to-5 grind that's out there surviving, doing their thing, man. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll be back later on with more content. Ringo TV Reactions salute you. Rate, comment, and subscribe. We out of here. Y'all take care. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/RingoTVRaw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at RingoTVRaw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth, 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.